bread with it. 7 days shalt thou eat unleavened bread therewith, even the bread of affliction. For thou camest forth out of the land of Egypt in haste, that thou mayest remember the day when thou camest forth out of the land of Egypt all the days of thy life. And there shall be no leavened bread seen with thee in all thy coast 7 days, neither shall there any thing of the flesh which thou sacrificest the first day at even remain all night until the morning. Thou mayest not sacrifice the Passover within any of thy gates, which the Lord thy God giveth thee. But at the place which the Lord thy God shall choose to place his name in, there thou shalt sacrifice the Passover at even, at the going down of the sun, at the season that thou camest forth out of Egypt. And thou shalt roast and eat it in the place which the Lord thy God shall choose. And thou shalt turn in the morning, and go unto thy tents. 6 days thou shalt eat unleavened bread, and on the 7th day shall be a solemn assembly to the Lord thy God. Thou shalt do no work therein. 7 weeks shalt thou number unto thee. Begin to number the 7 weeks from such time as thou beginnest to put the sickle to the corn. And thou shalt keep the feast of weeks unto the Lord thy God with a tribute of a freewill offering of thine hand, which thou shalt give unto the Lord thy God, according as the Lord thy God hath blessed thee. And thou shalt rejoice before the Lord thy God, thou, and thy son, and thy daughter, and thy manservant, and thy maidservant, and the Levite that is within thy gates, and the stranger, and the fatherless, and the widow that are among you, in the place which the Lord thy God hath chosen to place his name there. And thou shalt remember that thou wast a bondman in Egypt, and thou shalt observe and do these statutes. Thou shalt observe the Feast of Tabernacles 7 days. After that thou hast gathered in thy corn and thy wine. And thou shalt rejoice in thy feast, thou and thy son, and thy daughter, and thy manservant, and thy maidservant, and the Levite, the stranger, and the fatherless, and the widow, that are within thy gates. 7 days shalt thou keep a solemn feast unto the Lord thy God in the place which the Lord shall choose, because the Lord thy God shall bless thee in all thine increase, in all the works of thine hands. Therefore thou shalt surely rejoice. 3 times in a year shall all thine males appear before the Lord thy God in the place which he shall choose, in the feast of unleavened bread, in the feast of weeks, in the feast of tabernacles, and they shall not appear before the Lord empty. Every man shall give as he is able, according to the blessing of the Lord thy God which he hath given thee. Judges and officers shalt thou make thee in all thy gates, which the Lord thy God giveth thee throughout thy tribes, and they shall judge the people with just judgment. Thou shalt not wrest judgment. Thou shalt not respect persons, neither take a gift, for a gift doth blind the eyes of the wise, and pervert the words of the righteous. That which is altogether just shalt thou follow, that thou mayest live, and inherit the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. Thou shalt not plant thee a grove of any trees near unto the altar of the Lord thy God, which thou shalt make thee. Neither shalt thou set thee up any image, which the Lord thy God hateth. Deuteronomy 17. Thou shalt not sacrifice unto the Lord thy God any bullock or sheep wherein is blemish, or any evil favoredness, for that is an abomination unto the Lord thy God. If there be found among you within any of thy gates, which the Lord thy God giveth thee, man or woman, that hath wrought wickedness in the sight of the Lord thy God, in transgressing his covenant, and hath gone and served other gods, and worshipped them, either the sun or moon, or any of the host of heaven, which I have not commanded. And it be told thee, and thou hast heard of it, and inquired diligently, and behold, it be true, and the thing certain that such abomination is wrought in Israel, then shalt thou bring forth that man or that woman, which have committed that wicked thing, unto thy gates, even that man or that woman, and shalt stone them with stones till they die. At the mouth of 2 witnesses or 3 witnesses shall he that is worthy of death be put to death. But at the mouth of 1 witness he shall not be put to death. The hands of the witnesses shall be first upon him to put him to death, and afterward the hands of all the people, so thou shalt put the evil away from among you. If there arise a matter too hard for thee in judgment, between blood and blood, between plea and plea, and between stroke and stroke, being matters of controversy within thy gates, then shalt thou arise, and get thee up into the place which the Lord thy God shall choose. And thou shalt come unto the priests, the Levites, and unto the judge that shall be in those days, and inquire, and they shall show thee the sentence of judgment. And thou shalt do according to the sentence which they of that place which the Lord shall choose shall show thee. And thou shalt observe to do according to all that they inform thee, according to the sentence of the law which they shall teach thee, and according to the judgment which they shall tell thee, thou shalt do. Thou shalt not decline from the sentence which they shall show thee, to the right hand nor to the left. And the man that will do presumptuously, and will not hearken unto the priest that standeth to minister there before the Lord thy God, or unto the judge, even that man shall die. And thou shalt put away the evil from Israel. And all the people shall hear and fear, and do no more presumptuously. When thou art come unto the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee, and shalt possess it, and shalt dwell therein, and shalt say, I will set a king over me, like as all the nations that are about me. Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee. Whom the Lord thy God shall choose, one from among thy brethren shalt thou set king over thee. Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee, which is not thy brother. But he shall not multiply horses to himself, nor cause the people to return to Egypt, to the end that he should multiply horses. For as much as the Lord hath said unto you, ye shall henceforth return no more that way. Neither shall he multiply wives to himself, that his heart turn not away. Neither shall he greatly multiply to himself silver and gold. And it shall be, when he sitteth upon the throne of his kingdom, that he shall write him a copy of this law in a book out of that which is before the priests, the Levites. And it shall be with him, and he shall read therein all the days of his life, that he may learn to fear the Lord his God, to keep all the words of this law and these statutes to do them, that his heart be not lifted up above his brethren, and that he turn not aside from the commandment to the right hand or to the left, to the end that he may prolong his days in his kingdom, he and his children, in the midst of Israel. Deuteronomy 18. The priests, the Levites, and all the tribe of Levi shall have no part nor inheritance with Israel. They shall eat the offerings of the Lord made by fire, and his inheritance. Therefore shall they have no inheritance among their brethren. The Lord is their inheritance, as he hath said unto them. And this shall be the priest's due from the people from them that offer a sacrifice, whether it be ox or sheep. And they shall give unto the priest the shoulder, and the 2 cheeks, and the maw. The first fruit also of thy corn, of thy wine, and of thine oil, and the first of the fleece of thy sheep shalt thou give him. For the Lord thy God hath chosen him out of all thy tribes, to stand to minister in the name of the Lord, him and his sons forever. And if a Levite come from any of thy gates out of all Israel, where he sojourned, and come with all the desire of his mind unto the place which the Lord shall choose, then he shall minister in the name of the Lord his God, as all his brethren the Levites do, which stand there before the Lord. They shall have like portions to eat, beside that which cometh of the sale of his patrimony. When thou art come into the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee, thou shalt not learn to do after the abominations of those nations. There shall not be found among you anyone that maketh his son or his daughter to pass through the fire, or that useth divination, or an observer of times, or an enchanter, or a witch, or a charmer, or a consulter with familiar spirits, or a wizard, or a necromancer. For all that do these things are an abomination unto the Lord. And because of these abominations, the Lord thy God doth drive them out from before thee. Thou shalt be perfect with the Lord thy God. For these nations which thou shalt possess hearkened unto observers of times, and unto diviners. But as for thee, The Lord thy God hath not suffered thee so to do. The Lord thy God will raise up unto thee a prophet from the midst of thee, of thy brethren, like unto me. Unto him ye shall hearken, according to all that thou desirest of the Lord thy God in Horeb, in the day of the assembly, saying, Let me not hear again the voice of the Lord my God, neither let me see this great fire any more, that I die not. And the Lord said unto me, They have well spoken that which they have spoken. I will raise them up a prophet from among their brethren, like unto thee, and will put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak unto them all that I shall command him. And it shall come to pass, that whosoever will not hearken unto my words which he shall speak in my name, I will require it of him. But the prophet, which shall presume to speak a word in my name, which I have not commanded him to speak, or that shall speak in the name of other gods, even that prophet shall die. And if thou say in thine heart, How shall we know the word which the Lord hath not spoken? When a prophet speaketh in the name of the Lord, if the thing follow not, nor come to pass, that is the thing which the Lord hath not spoken, but the prophet hath spoken it presumptuously, thou shalt not be afraid of him. Deuteronomy 19. When the Lord thy God hath cut off the nations, whose land the Lord thy God giveth thee, and thou succeedest them, and dwellest in their cities and in their houses, thou shalt separate 3 cities for thee in the midst of thy land, which the Lord thy God giveth thee to possess it. Thou shalt prepare thee a way, and divide the coasts of thy land, which the Lord thy God giveth thee to inherit, into 3 parts, that every slayer may flee thither. And this is the case of the slayer, which shall flee thither, that he may live. Whoso killeth his neighbor ignorantly, whom he hated not in time past, as when a man goeth into the wood with his neighbor to hew wood, and his hand fetcheth a stroke with the axe to cut down the tree, and the head slippeth from the helve, and lighteth upon his neighbor, that he die. He shall flee unto one of those cities, and live, lest the avenger of blood pursue the slayer, while his heart is hot, and overtake him, because the way is long, and slay him, whereas he was not worthy of death, inasmuch as he hated him not in time past. Wherefore I command thee, saying, Thou shalt separate 3 cities for thee, and if the Lord thy God enlarge thy coast, as he hath sworn unto thy fathers, and give thee all the land which he promised to give unto thy fathers, if thou shalt keep all these commandments to do them, which I command thee this day, to love the Lord thy God, and to walk ever in his ways, then shalt thou add 3 cities more for thee, beside these 3, that innocent blood be not shed in thy land, which the Lord thy God giveth thee for an inheritance, and so blood be upon thee. But if any man hate his neighbor, and lie in wait for him, and rise up against him, and smite him mortally, that he die, and fleeth into one of these cities, then the elders of his city shall send and fetch him thence, and deliver him into the hand of the avenger of blood, that he may die. Thine eye shall not pity him, but thou shalt put away the guilt of innocent blood from Israel, that it may go well with thee. Thou shalt not remove thy neighbor's landmark, which they of old time have set in thine inheritance, which thou shalt inherit in the land that the Lord thy God giveth thee to possess it. 1 witness shall not rise up against a man for any iniquity, or for any sin. In any sin that he sinneth, at the mouth of 2 witnesses, or at the mouth of 3 witnesses shall the matter be established. If a false witness rise up against any man to testify against him that which is wrong, then both the men between whom the controversy is shall stand before the Lord, before the priests and the judges, which shall be in those days. And the judges shall make diligent inquisition, and behold, if the witness be a false witness, and hath testified falsely against his brother, then shall ye do unto him as he had thought to have done unto his brother. So shalt thou put the evil away from among you. And those which remain shall hear and fear, and shall henceforth commit no more any such evil among you. And thine eye shall not pity, but life shall go for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot. Deuteronomy 20. When thou goest out to battle against thine enemies, and seest horses and chariots and a people more than thou, be not afraid of them, for the Lord thy God is with thee, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. And it shall be, when you are come nigh unto the battle, that the priest shall approach and speak unto the people, and shall say unto them, Hear, O Israel, ye approach this day unto battle against your enemies. Let not your hearts faint, fear not, and do not tremble, neither be ye terrified because of them. For the Lord your God is he that goeth with you, to fight for you against your enemies, to save you. And the officers shall speak unto the people, saying, What man is there that hath built a new house, and hath not dedicated it? Let him go and return to his house, lest he die in the battle, and another man dedicate it. And what man is he that hath planted a vineyard, and hath not yet eaten of it? Let him also go and return unto his house, lest he die in the battle, and another man eat of it. And what man is there that hath betrothed a wife, and hath not taken her? Let him go and return unto his house, lest he die in the battle, and another man take her. And the officers shall speak further unto the people, and they shall say, What man is there that is fearful and faint-hearted? Let him go, and return unto his house, lest his brethren's heart faint as well as his heart. And it shall be, when the officers have made an end of speaking unto the people, that they shall make captains of the armies to lead the people. When thou comest nigh unto a city to fight against it, then proclaim peace unto it. And it shall be, if it make thee answer of peace, and open unto thee, then it shall be that all the people that is found therein shall be tributaries unto thee, and they shall serve thee. And if it will make no peace with thee, but will make war against thee, then thou shalt besiege it. And when the Lord thy God hath delivered it into thine hands, thou shalt smite every male thereof with the edge of the sword. But the women, and the little ones, and the cattle, and all that is in the city, even all the spoil thereof, shalt thou take unto thyself, and thou shalt eat the spoil of thine enemies, which the Lord thy God hath given thee. Thus shalt thou do unto all the cities which are very far off from thee, which are not of the cities of these nations, but of the cities of these people, which the Lord thy God doth give thee for an inheritance. Thou shalt save alive nothing that breatheth, but thou shalt utterly destroy them, namely the Hittites, and the Amorites, the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites, as the Lord thy God hath commanded thee, that they teach you not to do after all their abominations which they have done unto their gods. So should ye sin against the Lord your God. When thou shalt besiege a city a long time, in making war against it to take it, thou shalt not destroy the trees thereof by forcing an axe against them, for thou mayest eat of them. And thou shalt not cut them down, for the tree of the field is man's life, to employ them in the siege. Only the trees which thou knowest that they be not trees for meat, thou shalt destroy and cut them down, and thou shalt build bulwarks against the city that maketh war with thee, until it be subdued. Deuteronomy 21. If one be found slain in the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee to possess it, lying in the field, and it be not known who hath slain him, then thy elders and thy judges shall come forth, and they shall measure unto the cities which are round about him that is slain. It shall be that the city which is next unto the slain man, even the elders of that city shall take an heifer, which hath not been wrought with, and which hath not drawn in the yoke. And the elders of that city shall bring down the heifer unto a rough valley, which is neither eared nor sown, and shall strike off the heifer's neck there in the valley. And the priests, the sons of Levi, shall come near. For them the Lord thy God hath chosen to minister unto him, and to bless in the name of the Lord. And by their word shall every controversy and every stroke be tried. And all the elders of that city that are next unto the slain man shall wash their hands over the heifer that is beheaded in the valley. And they shall answer and say, Our hands have not shed this blood, neither have our eyes seen it. Be merciful, O Lord, unto thy people Israel. whom thou hast redeemed. And lay not innocent blood unto thy people of Israel's charge, and the blood shall be forgiven them. So shalt thou put away the guilt of innocent blood from among you, when thou shalt do that which is right in the sight of the Lord. When thou goest forth to war against thine enemies, and the Lord thy God hath delivered them into thine hands, and thou hast taken them captive, and seest among the captives a beautiful woman, and hast a desire unto her, that thou wouldest have her to thy wife, then thou shalt bring her home to thine house, and she shall shave her head, and pare her nails. And she shall put the raiment of her captivity from off her, and shall remain in thine house, and bewail her father and her mother a full month. And after that thou shalt go in unto her, and be her husband, and she shall be thy wife. And it shall be, if thou have no delight in her, then thou shalt let her go whither she will, but thou shalt not sell her at all for money. Thou shalt not make merchandise of her, because thou hast humbled her. If a man have two wives, one beloved, and another hated, and they have borne him children, both the beloved and the hated, and if the firstborn son be hers that was hated, then it shall be, when he maketh his sons to inherit that which he hath, that he may not make the son of the beloved firstborn before the son of the hated, which is indeed the firstborn. But he shall acknowledge the son of the hated for the firstborn, by giving him a double portion of all that he hath, for he is the beginning of his strength. The right of the firstborn is his. If a man have a stubborn and rebellious son, which will not obey the voice of his father, or the voice of his mother, and that when they have chastened him, will not hearken unto them, then shall his father and his mother lay hold on him, and bring him out unto the elders of his city, and unto the gate of his place. And they shall say unto the elders of his city, This our son is stubborn and rebellious. He will not obey our voice. He is a glutton and a drunkard. And all the men of this city shall stone him with stones, that he die. So shalt thou put evil away from among you, and all Israel shall hear and fear. And if a man have committed a sin worthy of death, and he be put to death, and thou hang him on a tree, his body shall not remain all night upon the tree, but thou shalt in any wise bury him that day. For he that is hanged is accursed of God, that thy land be not defiled, which the Lord thy God giveth thee for an inheritance. Deuteronomy 22. Thou shalt not see thy brother's ox or his sheep go astray, and hide thyself from them. Thou shalt in any case bring them again unto thy brother. And if thy brother be not nigh unto thee, or if thou know him not, then thou shalt bring it unto thine own house, and it shall be with thee until thy brother seek after it, and thou shalt restore it to him again. In like manner shalt thou do with his ass, and so shalt thou do with his raiment, and with all lost thing of thy brother's, which he hath lost, and thou hast found, shalt thou do likewise. Thou mayest not hide thyself. Thou shalt not see thy brother's ass or his ox fall down by the way, and hide thyself from them. Thou shalt surely help him to lift them up again. The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment, for all that do so are abomination unto the Lord thy God. If a bird's nest chance to be before thee in the way in any tree or on the ground, whether they be young ones or eggs, and the dam sitting upon the young or upon the eggs, thou shalt not take the dam with the young. But thou shalt in any wise let the dam go, and take the young to thee, that it may be well with thee, and that thou mayest prolong thy days. When thou buildest a new house, and thou shalt make a battlement for thy roof, that thou bring not blood upon thine house. If any man fall from thence, thou shalt not sow thy vineyard with divers seeds, lest the fruit of thy seed, which thou hast sown, and the fruit of thy vineyard be defiled. Thou shalt not plow with an ox and an ass together. Thou shalt not wear a garment of divers sorts, as of woolen and linen together. Thou shalt make thee fringes upon the four quarters of thy vesture, wherewith thou coverest thyself. If any man take a wife, and go in unto her, and hate her, and give occasions of speech against her, and bring up an evil name upon her, and say, I took this woman, and when I came to her, I found her not a maid. Then shall the father of the damsel and her mother take and bring forth the tokens of the damsel's virginity unto the elders of the city in the gate. And the damsel's father shall say unto the elders, I gave my daughter unto this man to wife, and he hated her. And lo, he hath given occasions of speech against her, saying, I found not thy daughter a maid. And yet these are the tokens of my daughter's virginity. And they shall spread the cloth before the elders of the city. And the elders of that city shall take that man and chastise him. And they shall amerce him in 100 shekels of silver, and give them unto the father of the damsel, because he hath brought up an evil name upon a virgin of Israel. And she shall be his wife. He may not put her away all his days. But if this thing be true, and the tokens of virginity be not found for the damsel, then they shall bring out the damsel to the door of her father's house, and the men of her city shall stone her with stones that she die, because she hath wrought folly in Israel, to play the whore in her father's house. So shalt thou put evil away from among you. If a man be found lying with a woman married to an husband, then they shall both of them die, both the man that lay with the woman, and the woman. So shalt thou put away evil from Israel. If a damsel that is a virgin be betrothed unto an husband, and a man find her in the city, and lie with her, then ye shall bring them both out unto the gate of that city, and ye shall stone them with stones that they die, the damsel because she cried not, being in the city, and the man because he hath humbled his neighbor's wife. So thou shalt put away evil from among you. But if a man find a betrothed damsel in the field, and the man force her, and lie with her, then the man only that lay with her shall die. But unto the damsel thou shalt do nothing. There is in the damsel no sin worthy of death. Whereas when a man riseth against his neighbor, and slayeth him, even so is this matter. For he found her in the field, and the betrothed damsel cried, and there was none to save her. If a man find a damsel that is a virgin, which is not betrothed, and lay hold on her, and lie with her, and they be found, then the man that lay with her shall give unto the damsel's father 50 shekels of silver, and she shall be his wife, because he hath humbled her. He may not put her away all his days. A man shall not take his father's wife, nor discover his father's skirt. Deuteronomy 22. Thou shalt not see thy brother's ox or his sheep go astray, and hide thyself from them. Thou shalt in any case bring them again unto thy brother. And if thy brother be not nigh unto thee, or if thou know him not, then thou shalt bring it unto thine own house, and it shall be with thee until thy brother seek after it, and thou shalt restore it to him again. In like manner shalt thou do with his ass, and so shalt thou do with his raiment, and with all lost thing of thy brother's, which he hath lost, and thou hast found, shalt thou do likewise. Thou mayest not hide thyself. Thou shalt not see thy brother's ass or his ox fall down by the way, and hide thyself from them. Thou shalt surely help him to lift them up again. The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment, for all that do so are abomination unto the Lord thy God. If a bird's nest chance to be before thee in the way, in any tree or on the ground, whether they be young ones or eggs, and the dam sitting upon the young, or upon the eggs, thou shalt not take the dam with the young. And thou shalt in any wise let the dam go, and take the young to thee, that it may be well with thee, and that thou mayest prolong thy days. When thou buildest a new house, and thou shalt make a battlement for thy roof, that thou bring not blood upon thine house. If any man fall from thence, thou shalt not sow thy vineyard with divers seeds, lest the fruit of thy seed which thou hast sown, and the fruit of thy vineyard be defiled. Thou shalt not plow with an ox and an ass together. Thou shalt not wear a garment of divers sorts, as of woolen and linen together. Thou shalt make thee fringes upon the four quarters of thy vesture, wherewith thou coverest thyself. If any man take a wife, and go in unto her, and hate her, and give occasions of speech against her, and bring up an evil name upon her, and say, I took this woman, and when I came to her, I found her not a maid, then shall the father of the damsel and her mother take and bring forth the tokens of the damsel's virginity unto the elders of the city in the gate. And the damsel's father shall say unto the elders, I gave my daughter unto this man to wife, and he hated her. And lo, he hath given occasions of speech against her, saying, I found not thy daughter a maid. And yet these are the tokens of my daughter's virginity. And they shall spread the cloth before the elders of the city. And the elders of that city shall take that man and chastise him. And they shall amerce him in 100 shekels of silver, and give them unto the father of the damsel, because he hath brought up an evil name upon a virgin of Israel. And she shall be his wife. He may not put her away all his days. But if this thing be true, and the tokens of virginity be not found for the damsel, then they shall bring out the damsel to the door of her father's house, and the men of her city shall stone her with stones that she die, because she hath wrought folly in Israel, to play the whore in her father's house. So shalt thou put evil away from among you. If a man be found lying with a woman married to an husband, then they shall both of them die, both the man that lay with the woman, and the woman. So shalt thou put away evil from Israel. If a damsel that is a virgin be betrothed unto an husband, and a man find her in the city, and lie with her, then ye shall bring them both out unto the gate of that city, and ye shall stone them with stones that they die, the damsel because she cried not, being in the city, and the man because he hath humbled his neighbor's wife. So thou shalt put away evil from among you. But if a man find a betrothed damsel in the field, and the man force her, and lie with her, then the man only that lay with her shall die. But unto the damsel thou shalt do nothing. There is in the damsel no sin worthy of death. For as when a man riseth against his neighbor, and slayeth him, even so is this matter. For he found her in the field, and the betrothed damsel cried, and there was none to save her. If a man find a damsel that is a virgin, which is not betrothed, and lay hold on her, and lie with her, and they be found, then the man that lay with her shall give unto the damsel's father 50 shekels of silver, and she shall be his wife, because he hath humbled her. He may not put her away all his days. A man shall not take his father's wife, nor discover his father's skirt. Deuteronomy 23. He that is wounded in the stones, or hath his privy member cut off, shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord. A bastard shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord. Even to his 10th generation shall he not enter into the congregation of the Lord. An Ammonite or Moabite shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord. Even to their 10th generation shall they not enter into the congregation of the Lord forever. Because they met you not with bread and with water in the way when you came forth out of Egypt, and because they hired against thee Balaam the son of Beor of Pethor of Mesopotamia to curse thee. Nevertheless the Lord thy God would not hearken unto Balaam, but the Lord thy God turned the curse into a blessing unto thee, because the Lord thy God loved thee. Thou shalt not seek their peace nor their prosperity all thy days forever. Thou shalt not abhor an Edomite, for he is thy brother. Thou shalt not abhor an Egyptian, because thou wast a stranger in his land. The children that are begotten of them shall enter into the congregation of the Lord in their third generation. When the host goeth forth against thine enemies, then keep thee from every wicked thing. If there be among you any man that is not clean by reason of uncleanness, that chanceth him by night, then shall he go abroad out of the camp. He shall not come within the camp. But it shall be, when evening cometh on, he shall wash himself with water. And when the sun is down, he shall come into the camp again. Thou shalt have a place also without the camp, whither thou shalt go forth abroad. Thou shalt have a paddle upon thy weapon. It shall be, when thou wilt ease thyself abroad, thou shalt dig therewith, and shalt turn back and cover that which cometh from thee. For the Lord thy God walketh in the midst of thy camp, to deliver thee, and to give up thine enemies before thee. Therefore shall thy camp be holy, that he see no unclean thing in thee, and turn away from thee. Thou shalt not deliver unto his master the servant which is escaped from his master unto thee. He shall dwell with thee, even among you, in that place which he shall choose in one of thy gates, where it liketh him best. Thou shalt not oppress him. There shall be no whore of the daughters of Israel, nor a sodomite of the sons of Israel. Thou shalt not bring the hire of a whore, or the price of a dog, into the house of the Lord thy God for any vow, for even both these are abomination unto the Lord thy God. Thou shalt not lend upon usury to thy brother, usury of money, usury of victuals, usury of anything that is lent upon usury. Unto a stranger thou mayest lend upon usury, but unto thy brother thou shalt not lend upon usury. But the Lord thy God may bless thee in all that thou settest thine hand to in the land whither thou goest to possess it. And thou shalt vow a vow unto the Lord thy God, thou shalt not slack to pay it. For the Lord thy God will surely require it of thee, that it would be sin in thee. But if thou shalt forbear to vow, it shall be no sin in thee. That which is gone out of thy lips, thou shalt keep and perform, even a free will offering, according as thou hast vowed unto the Lord thy God, which thou hast promised with thy mouth. When thou comest into thy neighbor's vineyard, then thou mayest eat grapes thy fill at thine own pleasure, but thou shalt not put any in thy vessel. When thou comest into the standing corn of thy neighbor, then thou mayest pluck the ears with thine hand, but thou shalt not move a sickle unto thy neighbor's standing corn. Deuteronomy 24. When a man hath taken a wife, and married her, and it come to pass that she find no favor in his eyes, because he hath found some uncleanness in her, then let him write her a bill of divorcement, and give it in her hand, and send her out of his house. And when she is departed out of his house, she may go and be another man's wife. And if the latter husband hate her, and write her a bill of divorcement, and giveth it in her hand, and sendeth her out of his house, or if the latter husband die, which took her to be his wife, her former husband, which sent her away, may not take her again to be his wife, after that she is defiled, for that is abomination before the Lord. And thou shalt not cause the land to sin, which the Lord thy God giveth thee for an inheritance. When a man hath taken a new wife, he shall not go out to war, neither shall he be charged with any business, but he shall be free at home 1 year, and shall cheer up his wife, which he hath taken. No man shall take the nether or the upper millstone to pledge, for he taketh a man's life to pledge. If a man be found stealing any of his brethren of the children of Israel, and maketh merchandise of him, or selleth him, then that thief shall die, and thou shalt put evil away from among you. Take heed in the plague of leprosy, that thou observe diligently, and do according to all that the priests, the Levites, shall teach you. As I commanded them, so ye shall observe to do. Remember what the Lord thy God did unto Miriam by the way, after that ye were come forth out of Egypt. When thou dost lend thy brother anything, thou shalt not go into his house to fetch his pledge. Thou shalt stand abroad, and the man to whom thou dost lend shall bring out the pledge abroad unto thee. And if the man be poor, thou shalt not sleep with his pledge. In any case, thou shalt deliver him the pledge again when the sun goes down, that he may sleep in his own raiment, and bless thee, and it shall be righteousness unto thee before the Lord thy God. Thou shalt not oppress an hired servant that is poor and needy, whether he be of thy brethren, or of thy strangers that are in thy land within thy gates. At his day thou shalt give him his hire, neither shall the sun go down upon it, for he is poor, and setteth his heart upon it, lest he cry against thee unto the Lord, and it be sin unto thee. The fathers shall not be put to death for the children, neither shall the children be put to death for the fathers. Every man shall be put to death for his own sin. Thou shalt not pervert the judgment of the stranger, nor of the fatherless, nor take a widow's raiment to pledge. Thou shalt remember that thou wast a bondman in Egypt, and the Lord thy God redeemed thee thence. Therefore I command thee to do this thing. When thou cuttest down thine harvest in thy field, and hast forgot a sheaf in the field, thou shalt not go again to fetch it. It shall be for the stranger, for the fatherless, and for the widow, that the Lord thy God may bless thee in all the work of thine hands. When thou beatest thine olive tree, thou shalt not go over the boughs again. It shall be for the stranger, for the fatherless, and for the widow. When thou gatherest the grapes of thy vineyard, thou shalt not glean it afterward. It shall be for the stranger, for the fatherless, and for the widow. And thou shalt remember that thou wast a bondman in the land of Egypt. Therefore I command thee to do this thing. Deuteronomy 25. If there be controversy between men, and they come unto judgment, that the judges may judge them, then they shall justify the righteous, and condemn the wicked. And it shall be, if the wicked man be worthy to be beaten, that the judge shall cause him to lie down, and to be beaten before his face, according to his fault, by a certain number. 40 stripes he may give him, and not exceed, lest if he should exceed, and beat him above these with many stripes, then thy brother should seem vile unto thee. Thou shalt not muzzle the ox when he treadeth out the corn. If brethren dwell together, and one of them die, and have no child, the wife of the dead shall not marry without unto a stranger. Her husband's brother shall go in unto her, and take her to him to wife, and perform the duty of an husband's brother unto her. And shall be, that the firstborn which she beareth shall succeed in the name of his brother which is dead, that his name be not put out of Israel. And if the man like not to take his brother's wife, then let his brother's wife go up to the gate unto the elders, and say, My husband's brother refuseth to raise up unto his brother a name in Israel. He will not perform the duty of my husband's brother. Then the elders of his city shall call him, and speak unto him. And if he stand to it, and say, I like not to take her, then shall his brother's wife come unto him in the presence of the elders, and loose his shoe from off his foot, and spit in his face, and shall answer and say, So shall it be done unto that man that will not build up his brother's house. And his name shall be called in Israel, the house of him that hath his shoe loosed. When men strive together one with another, and the wife of the one draweth near for to deliver her husband out of the hand of him that smiteth him, and putteth forth her hand, and taketh him by the secrets, then thou shalt cut off her hand. Thine eye shall not pity her. Thou shalt not have in thy bag divers weights, a great and a small. Thou shalt not have in thine house divers measures, a great and a small. But thou shalt have a perfect and just weight. A perfect and just measure shalt thou have, that thy days may be lengthened in the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. For all that do such things, and all that do unrighteously, are an abomination unto the Lord thy God. Remember what Amalek did unto thee by the way, when ye were come forth out of Egypt, how he met thee by the way, and smote the hindmost of thee, even all that were feeble behind thee, when thou wast faint and weary, and he feared not God. Therefore it shall be, when the Lord thy God hath given thee rest from all thine enemies round about, in the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee for an inheritance to possess it, that thou shalt blot out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven. Thou shalt not forget it. Deuteronomy 26. And it shall be, when thou art come in unto the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee for an inheritance, and possessest it, and dwellest therein, that thou shalt take of the first of all the fruit of the earth, which thou shalt bring of thy land, that the Lord thy God giveth thee, and shalt put it in a basket, and shalt go unto the place which the Lord thy God shall choose to place his name there. And thou shalt go unto the priest that shall be in those days, and say unto him, I profess this day unto the Lord thy God, that I am come unto the country which the Lord sware unto our fathers for to give us. And the priest shall take the basket out of thine hand, and set it down before the altar of the Lord thy God. And thou shalt speak and say before the Lord thy God, a Syrian ready to perish was my father, and he went down into Egypt, and sojourned there was a few, and became there a nation, great, mighty, and populous. And the Egyptians evil entreated us, and afflicted us, and laid upon us hard bondage. And when we cried unto the Lord God of our fathers, the Lord heard our voice, and looked on our affliction, and our labor, and our oppression. And the Lord brought us forth out of Egypt with a mighty hand, and with an outstretched arm, and with great terribleness, and with signs, and with wonders. And he hath brought us into this place, and hath given us this land, even a land that floweth with milk and honey. And now behold, I have brought the first fruits of the land which thou, O Lord, hast given me. And thou shalt set it before the Lord thy God, and worship before the Lord thy God. And thou shalt rejoice in every good thing which the Lord thy God hath given unto thee, and unto thine house, thou and the Levite, and the stranger that is among you. And thou hast made an end of tithing all the tithes of thine increase the third year, which is the year of tithing, and hast given it unto the Levite, the stranger, the fatherless, and the widow, that they may eat within thy gates and be filled. And thou shalt say before the Lord thy God, I have brought away the hallowed things out of mine house, and also have given them unto the Levite, and unto the stranger, to the fatherless, and to the widow, according to all thy commandments which thou hast commanded me. I have not transgressed thy commandments, neither have I forgotten them. I have not eaten thereof in my mourning, neither have I taken away aught thereof for any unclean use, nor given aught thereof for the dead. But I have hearkened to the voice of the Lord my God, and have done according to all that thou hast commanded me. Look down from thy holy habitation from heaven, and bless thy people Israel, and the land which thou hast given us, as thou swarest unto our fathers, a land that floweth with milk and honey. This day the Lord thy God hath commanded thee to do these statutes and judgments. Thou shalt therefore keep and do them with all thine heart, and with all thy soul. Thou hast avouched the Lord this day to be thy God, and to walk in his ways, and to keep his statutes, and his commandments, and his judgments, and to hearken unto his voice. And the Lord hath avouched thee this day to be his peculiar people, as he hath promised thee, and that thou shouldest keep all his commandments, and to make thee high above all nations which he hath made, in praise, and in name, and in honor, and that thou mayest be an holy people unto the Lord thy God, as he hath spoken. Deuteronomy 27. And Moses with the elders of Israel commanded the people, saying, Keep all the commandments which I command you this day. And it shall be on the day when ye shall pass over Jordan unto the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee, that thou shalt set thee up great stones, and plaster them with plaster. And thou shalt write upon them all the words of this law, when thou art passed over, that thou mayest go in unto the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee, a land that floweth with milk and honey, as the Lord God of thy fathers hath promised thee. Therefore it shall be, when ye be gone over Jordan, that ye shall set up these stones, which I command you this day, in Mount Ebal, and thou shalt plaster them with plaster. And there shalt thou build an altar unto the Lord thy God, an altar of stones. Thou shalt not lift up any iron tool upon them. Thou shalt build the altar of the Lord thy God of whole stones, and thou shalt offer burnt offerings thereon unto the Lord thy God. And thou shalt offer peace offerings, and shalt eat there, and rejoice before the Lord thy God. And thou shalt write upon the stones all the words of this law very plainly. And Moses and the priests, the Levites, spake unto all Israel, saying, Take heed, and hearken, O Israel. This day thou art become the people of the Lord thy God. Thou shalt therefore obey the voice of the Lord thy God, and do his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day. And Moses charged the people the same day, saying, These shall stand upon Mount Gerizim to bless the people, when ye are come over Jordan, Simeon and Levi and Judah and Issachar and Joseph and Benjamin. And these shall stand upon Mount Ebal to curse Reuben, Gad, and Asher, and Zebulun, Dan, and Naphtali. And the Levites shall speak, and say unto all the men of Israel with a loud voice, Cursed be the man that maketh any graven or molten image, an abomination unto the Lord, the work of the hands of the craftsman, and putteth it in a secret place. And all the people shall answer and say, Amen. Cursed be he that setteth light by his father or his mother. And all the people shall say, Amen. Cursed be he that removeth his neighbor's landmark. And all the people shall say, Amen. Cursed be he that maketh the blind to wander out of the way. And all the people shall say, Amen. Cursed be he that perverteth the judgment of the stranger, fatherless, and widow. And all the people shall say, Amen. Cursed be he that lieth with his father's wife, because he uncovereth his father's skirt. And all the people shall say, Amen. Cursed be he that lieth with any manner of beast. And all the people shall say, Amen. Cursed be he that lieth with his sister, the daughter of his father, or the daughter of his mother. And all the people shall say, Amen. Cursed be he that lieth with his mother-in-law. And all the people shall say, Amen. Cursed be he that smiteth his neighbor secretly. And all the people shall say, Amen. Cursed be he that taketh reward to slay an innocent person. And all the people shall say, Amen. Cursed be he that confirmeth not all the words of this law to do them. And all the people shall say, Amen. Deuteronomy 28. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. And all these blessings shall come on thee, and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God. Blessed shalt thou be in the city, and blessed shalt thou be in the field. Blessed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy ground, and the fruit of thy cattle, the increase of thy kine, and the flocks of thy sheep. Blessed shall be thy basket and thy store. Blessed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and blessed shalt thou be when thou goest out. The Lord shall cause thine enemies that rise up against thee to be smitten before thy face. They shall come out against thee one way, and flee before thee 7 ways. The Lord shall command the blessing upon thee in thy storehouses, and in all that thou settest thine hand unto. And he shall bless thee in the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. The Lord shall establish thee an holy people unto himself, as he hath sworn unto thee, that thou shalt keep the commandments of the Lord thy God, and walk in his ways. And all people of the earth shall see that thou art called by the name of the Lord, and they shall be afraid of thee. And the Lord shall make thee plenteous in goods, in the fruit of thy body, and in the fruit of thy cattle, and in the fruit of thy ground, in the land which the Lord sware unto thy fathers to give thee. The Lord shall open unto thee his good treasure, the heaven to give the rain unto thy land in his season, and to bless all the work of thine hand. And thou shalt lend unto many nations, and thou shalt not borrow. And the Lord shall make thee the head, and not the tail. And thou shalt be above only, and thou shalt not be beneath, if that thou hearken unto the commandments of the Lord thy God, which I command thee this day, to observe and to do them. And thou shalt not go aside from any of the words which I command thee this day, to the right hand or to the left, to go after other gods to serve them. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field. Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store. Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy land, the increase of thy kind, and the flocks of thy sheep. Cursed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and cursed shalt thou be when thou goest out. The Lord shall send upon thee cursing, vexation, and rebuke, in all that thou settest thine hand unto for to do, until thou be destroyed, and until thou perish quickly, because of the wickedness of thy doings, whereby thou hast forsaken me. The Lord shall make the pestilence cleave unto thee, until he have consumed thee from off the land, whither thou goest to possess it. The Lord shall smite thee with a consumption, and with a fever, and with an inflammation, and with an extreme burning, and with a sword, and with blasting, and with mildew, and they shall pursue thee until thou perish. And thy heaven that is over thy head shall be brass, and the earth that is under thee shall be iron. The Lord shall make the rain of thy land powder and dust. From heaven shall it come down upon thee, until thou be destroyed. The Lord shall cause thee to be smitten before thine enemies. Thou shalt go out one way against them, and flee 7 ways before them, and shalt be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth. And thy carcass shall be meat unto all fowls of the air, and unto the beasts of the earth, and no man shall fray them away. The Lord will smite thee with the botch of Egypt, and with the emerods, and with the scab, and with the itch, whereof thou canst not be healed. The Lord shall smite thee with madness, and blindness, and astonishment of heart. And thou shalt grope at noonday, as the blind gropeth in darkness. And thou shalt not prosper in thy ways. And thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee. Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. Thou shalt build an house, and thou shalt not dwell therein. Thou shalt plant a vineyard, and shalt not gather the grapes thereof. Thine ox shall be slain before thine eyes, and thou shalt not eat thereof. Thine ass shall be violently taken away from before thy face, and shall not be restored to thee. Thy sheep shall be given unto thine enemies, and thou shalt have none to rescue them. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look, and fail with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thine hand. The fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up, and thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed always, so that thou shalt be mad for the sight of thine eyes, which thou shalt see. The Lord shall smite thee in the knees and in the legs, with a sore botch that cannot be healed, from the sole of thy foot unto the top of thy head. The Lord shall bring thee, and thy king which thou shalt set over thee, unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known. And there shalt thou serve other gods, wood and stone. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations whither the Lord shall lead thee. Thou shalt carry much seed out into the field, and shalt gather but little in, for the locust shall consume it. Thou shalt plant vineyards and dress them, but shalt neither drink of the wine nor gather the grapes, for the worms shall eat them. Thou shalt have olive trees throughout all thy coasts, but thou shalt not anoint thyself with the oil, for thine olive shall cast his fruit. Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity. All thy trees and fruit of thy land shall the locust consume. The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep his commandments and his statutes, which he commanded thee. And they shall be upon thee for a sign, and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness, and with gladness of heart, for the abundance of all things. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck, until he have destroyed thee. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand, a nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young. And he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle, and the fruit of thy land, until thou be destroyed, which also shall not leave thee either corn, wine, or oil, or the increase of thy kine, or flocks of thy sheep, until he have destroyed thee. And he shall besiege thee in all thy gates, until thy high and fenced walls come down, wherein thou trustest, throughout all thy land. And he shall besiege thee in all thy gates throughout all thy land, which the Lord thy God hath given thee. And thou shalt eat the fruit of thine own body, the flesh of thy sons and of thy daughters, which the Lord thy God hath given thee, in the siege, and in the straitness wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee. So that the man that is tender among you, and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil toward his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children which he shall leave, so that he will not give to any of them of the flesh of his children whom he shall eat, because he hath nothing left him in the siege, and in the straitness, wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee in all thy gates. The tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eye shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom, and toward her son, and toward her daughter, and toward her young one that cometh out from between her feet, and toward her children which she shall bear. For she shall eat them for want of all things secretly in the siege and straitness, wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee in thy gates. If thou wilt not observe to do all the words of this law that are written in this book, that thou mayest fear this glorious and fearful name, the Lord thy God, then the Lord will make thy plagues wonderful, and the plagues of thy seed, even great plagues, and of long continuance, and sore sicknesses, and of long continuance. Moreover, he will bring upon thee all the diseases of Egypt, which thou wast afraid of, and they shall cleave unto thee. Also every sickness and every plague, which is not written in the book of this law, them will the Lord bring upon thee, until thou be destroyed. And ye shall be left few in number, whereas ye were as the stars of heaven for multitude, because thou wouldest not obey the voice of the Lord thy God. And it shall come to pass, that as the Lord rejoiced over you to do you good, and to multiply you, so the Lord will rejoice over you to destroy you, and to bring you to naught. And ye shall be plucked from off the land whither thou goest to possess it. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. And among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest. But the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart, and failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind. And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night. and shalt have none assurance of thy life. In the morning thou shalt say, Would God it were even, and at even thou shalt say, Would God it were morning, for the fear of thine heart wherewith thou shalt fear, and for the sight of thine eyes which thou shalt see. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. Deuteronomy 29. These are the words of the covenant, which the Lord commanded Moses to make with the children of Israel in the land of Moab, beside the covenant which he made with them in Horeb. And Moses called unto all Israel, and said unto them, Ye have seen all that the Lord did before your eyes in the land of Egypt unto Pharaoh, and unto all his servants, and unto all his land, the great temptations which thine eyes have seen, the signs, and those great miracles. Yet the Lord hath not given you an heart to perceive, and eyes to see, and ears to hear, unto this day. I have led you 40 years in the wilderness. Your clothes are not waxen old upon you, and thy shoes not waxen old upon thy foot. Ye have not eaten bread, neither have ye drunk wine or strong drink, that ye might know that I am the Lord your God. And when ye came unto this place, Sihon the king of Heshbon, and Og the king of Bashan, came out against us unto battle, and we smote them, and we took their land, and gave it for an inheritance unto the Reubenites, and to the Gadites, and to the half-tribe of Manasseh. Keep therefore the words of this covenant, and do them, that ye may prosper in all that ye do. Ye stand this day, all of you, before the Lord your God, your captains of your tribes, your elders, and your officers, with all the men of Israel, your little ones, your wives, and thy stranger that is in thy camp, from the hewer of thy wood unto the drawer of thy water, that thou shouldest enter into covenant with the Lord thy God, and into his oath, which the Lord thy God maketh with thee this day, that he may establish thee today for a people unto himself, and that he may be unto thee a God, as he hath said unto thee, and as he hath sworn unto thy fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob. Neither with you only do I make this covenant and this oath, but with him that standeth here with us this day before the Lord our God, and also with him that is not here with us this day. For ye know how we have dwelt in the land of Egypt, and how we came through the nations which ye passed by. And ye have seen their abominations, and their idols, wood and stone, silver and gold, which were among them, lest there should be among you man or woman or family or tribe, whose heart turneth away this day from the Lord our God, to go and serve the gods of these nations, lest there should be among you a root that beareth gall and wormwood. And it come to pass, when he heareth the words of this curse, that he bless himself in his heart, saying, I shall have peace, though I walk in the imagination of mine heart, to add drunkenness to thirst. The Lord will not spare him, but in the anger of the Lord and his jealousy shall smoke against that man, and all the curses that are written in this book shall lie upon him. And the Lord shall blot out his name from under heaven, and the Lord shall separate him unto evil out of all the tribes of Israel, according to all the curses of the covenant that are written in this book of the law, so that the generation to come of your children that shall rise up after you, and the stranger that shall come from a far land, shall say, when they see the plagues of that land, and the sicknesses which the Lord hath laid upon it, and that the whole land thereof is brimstone and salt and burning, that it is not sown, nor beareth, nor any grass groweth therein, like the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah, Admah and Zeboim, which the Lord overthrew in his anger and in his wrath. Even all nations shall say, Wherefore hath the Lord done thus unto this land? What meaneth the heat of this great anger? Then men shall say, Because they have forsaken the covenant of the Lord God of their fathers, which he made with them when he brought them forth out of the land of Egypt. For they went and served other gods, and worshipped them, gods whom they knew not, and whom he had not given unto them. And the anger of the Lord was kindled against this land, to bring upon it all the curses that are written in this book. And the Lord rooted them out of their land in anger, and in wrath, and in great indignation, and cast them into another land, as it is this day. The secret things belong unto the Lord our God, but those things which are revealed belong unto us, and to our children forever, that we may do all the words of this law. Deuteronomy 30. And it shall come to pass, when all these things are come upon thee, the blessing and the curse, which I have set before thee, and thou shalt call them to mind among all the nations whither the Lord thy God hath driven thee, and shalt return unto the Lord thy God, and shalt obey his voice according to all that I command thee this day, thou and thy children, with all thine heart, and with all thy soul, that then the Lord thy God will turn thy captivity, and have compassion upon thee, and will return and gather thee from all the nations whither the Lord thy God hath scattered thee. If any of thine be driven out unto the utmost parts of heaven, from thence will the Lord thy God gather thee, and from thence will he fetch thee. And the Lord thy God will bring thee into the land which thy fathers possessed, and thou shalt possess it. And he will do thee good, and multiply thee above thy fathers. And the Lord thy God will circumcise thine heart, and the heart of thy seed, to love the Lord thy God with all thine heart, and with all thy soul, that thou mayest live. And the Lord thy God will put all these curses upon thine enemies, and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. And thou shalt return and obey the voice of the Lord, and do all his commandments which I command thee this day. And the Lord thy God will make thee plenteous in every work of thine hand, in the fruit of thy body, and in the fruit of thy cattle, and in the fruit of thy land for good. For the Lord will again rejoice over thee for good, as he rejoiced over thy fathers. If thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep his commandments and his statutes, which are written in this book of the law, and if thou turn unto the Lord thy God with all thine heart, and with all thy soul, for this commandment which I command thee this day, it is not hidden from thee, neither is it far off. It is not in heaven, that thou shouldst say, Who shall go up for us to heaven, and bring it unto us, that we may hear it and do it? Neither is it beyond the sea, that thou shouldst say, Who shall go to the sea for us, and bring it unto us, that we may hear it and do it? But the word is very nigh unto thee, in thy mouth, and in thy heart, that thou mayest do it. See, I have set before thee this day life and good, and death and evil. In that I command thee this day to love the Lord thy God, to walk in his ways, and to keep his commandments and his statutes and his judgments, that thou mayest live and multiply. And the Lord thy God shall bless thee in the land whither thou goest to possess it. But if thine heart turn away, so that thou wilt not hear, but shalt be drawn away, and worship other gods, and serve them, I denounce unto you this day, that ye shall surely perish, and that ye shall not prolong your days upon the land whither thou passest over Jordan to go to possess it. I call heaven and earth to record this day against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. Therefore, choose life, that both thou and thy seed may live, that thou mayest love the Lord thy God, and that thou mayest obey his voice, and that thou mayest cleave unto him. For he is thy life, and the length of thy days, that thou mayest dwell in the land which the Lord sware unto thy fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, to give them. Deuteronomy 31. And Moses went and spake these words unto all Israel. And he said unto them, I am 120 years old this day. I can no more go out and come in. Also the Lord hath said unto me, Thou shalt not go over this Jordan. The Lord thy God, he will go over before thee, and he will destroy these nations from before thee, and thou shalt possess them. And Joshua, he shall go over before thee, as the Lord hath said. And the Lord shall do unto them as he did to Sihon and to Og, kings of the Amorites, and unto the land of them whom he destroyed. And the Lord shall give them up before your face, that you may do unto them according to all the commandments which I have commanded you. Be strong, and of a good courage, fear not, nor be afraid of them. For the Lord thy God, he it is that doth go with thee. He will not fail thee, nor forsake thee. And Moses called unto Joshua, and said unto him in the sight of all Israel, Be strong, and of a good courage. For thou must go with this people unto the land which the Lord hath sworn unto their fathers to give them. And thou shalt cause them to inherit it. And the Lord, he it is that doth go before thee. He will be with thee. He will not fail thee, neither forsake thee. Fear not, neither be dismayed. And Moses wrote this law, and delivered it unto the priests, the sons of Levi, which bear the ark of the covenant of the Lord, and unto all the elders of Israel. And Moses commanded them, saying, At the end of every 7 years, in the solemnity of the year of release, in the Feast of Tabernacles, when all Israel is come to appear before the Lord thy God in the place which he shall choose, thou shalt read this law before all Israel in their hearing. Gather the people together, men and women and children, and thy stranger that is within thy gates, that they may hear, and that they may learn, and fear the Lord your God, and observe to do all the words of this law, and that their children which have not known anything may hear, and learn to fear the Lord your God, as long as ye live in the land whither ye go over Jordan to possess it. And the Lord said unto Moses, Behold, thy days approach that thou must die. Call Joshua, and present yourselves in the tabernacle of the congregation, that I may give him a charge. And Moses and Joshua went, and presented themselves in the tabernacle of the congregation. And the Lord appeared in the tabernacle in a pillar of a cloud, and the pillar of the cloud stood over the door of the tabernacle. And the Lord said unto Moses, Behold, thou shalt sleep with thy fathers, and this people will rise up and go a-whoring after the gods of the strangers of the land, whither they go to be among them, and will forsake me, and break my covenant which I have made with them. Then my anger shall be kindled against them in that day, and I will forsake them, and I will hide my face from them, and they shall be devoured, and many evils and troubles shall befall them, so that they will say in that day, Are not these evils come upon us, because our God is not among us? And I will surely hide my face in that day, for all the evils which they shall have wrought, in that they are turned unto other gods. Now therefore write ye this song for you, and teach it the children of Israel. Put it in their mouths, that this song may be a witness for me against the children of Israel. For when I shall have brought them into the land which I swear unto their fathers, that floweth with milk and honey, and they shall have eaten and filled themselves and waxen fat, then will they turn unto other gods, and serve them, and provoke me, and break my covenant. And it shall come to pass, when many evils and troubles are befallen them, that this song shall testify against them as a witness. For it shall not be forgotten out of the mouths of their seed. For I know their imagination which they go about, even now, before I have brought them into the land which I swear. Moses therefore wrote this song the same day, and taught it the children of Israel. And he gave Joshua the son of Nun a charge, and said, Be strong, and of a good courage, for thou shalt bring the children of Israel into the land which I swear unto them, and I will be with thee. And it came to pass, when Moses had made an end of writing the words of this law in a book, until they were finished, that Moses commanded the Levites which bear the ark of the covenant of the Lord, saying, Take this book of the law, and put it in the side of the ark of the covenant of the Lord your God, that it may be there for a witness against thee. For I know thy rebellion and thy stiff neck. Behold, while I am yet alive with you this day, ye have been rebellious against the Lord. And how much more after my death? Gather unto me all the elders of your tribes, and your officers, that I may speak these words in their ears, and call heaven and earth to record against them. But I know that after my death ye will utterly corrupt yourselves, and turn aside from the way which I have commanded you. And evil will befall you in the latter days, because ye will do evil in the sight of the Lord, to provoke him to anger through the work of your hands. And Moses spake in the ears of all the congregation of Israel the words of this song, until they were ended. ear, O ye heavens, and I will speak. And hear, O earth, the words of my mouth. My doctrine shall drop as the rain, my speech shall distill as the dew, as the small rain upon the tender herb, and as the showers upon the grass. Because I will publish the name of the Lord. Ascribe ye greatness unto our God. He is the rock. His work is perfect. For all his ways are judgment. A God of truth and without iniquity. Just and right is he. They have corrupted themselves. Their spot is not the spot of his children. They are a perverse and crooked generation. Do ye thus requite the Lord, O foolish people and unwise? Is not he thy father that hath bought thee? Hath he not made thee and established thee? Remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will show thee, thy elders, and they will tell thee. When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. For the Lord's portion is his people. Jacob is the lot of his inheritance. He found him in a desert land, and in the waste howling wilderness. He led him about, he instructed him, he kept him as the apple of his eye. As an eagle stirreth up her nest, fluttereth over her young, spreadeth abroad her wings, taketh them, beareth them on her wings. So the Lord alone did lead him, and there was no strange God with him. He made him ride on the high places of the earth, that he might eat the increase of the fields. And he made him to suck honey out of the rock, and oil out of the flinty rock, butter of kine, and milk of sheep, with fat of lambs, and rams of the breed of Bashan, and goats with the fat of kidneys of wheat. And thou didst drink the pure blood of the grape. But Jeshurun waxed fat and kicked. Thou art waxen fat, thou art grown thick, thou art covered with fatness. Then he forsook God which made him, and lightly esteemed the rock of his salvation. They provoked him to jealousy with strange gods, with abominations provoked they him to anger. They sacrificed unto devils, not to gods whom they knew not, to new gods that came newly up, whom your fathers feared not. Of the rock that begat thee thou art unmindful, and hast forgotten God that formed thee. And when the Lord saw it, he abhorred them because of the provoking of his sons and of his daughters. And he said, I will hide my face from them. I will see what their end shall be. For they are a very froward generation, children in whom is no faith. They have moved me to jealousy with that which is not God. They have provoked me to anger with their vanities. And I will move them to jealousy with those which are not a people. I will provoke them to anger with a foolish nation. For a fire is kindled in my anger, and shall burn unto the lowest hell, and shall consume the earth with her increase, and set on fire the foundations of the mountains. I will heap mischiefs upon them. I will spend mine arrows upon them. They shall be burnt with hunger, and devoured with burning heat, and with bitter destruction. I will also send the teeth of beasts upon them, with the poisoned serpents of the dust. The sword without, and terror within, shall destroy both the young man and the virgin, the suckling also with the man of grey hairs. I said, I would scatter them into corners. I would make the remembrance of them to cease from among men. Were it not that I feared the wrath of the enemy, lest their adversaries should behave themselves strangely, and lest they should say, Our hand is high, and the Lord hath not done all this. For they are a nation void of counsel, neither is there any understanding in them. Oh, that they were wise, that they understood this, that they would consider their latter end. How should one chase 1,000, and two put 10,000 to flight, except their rock had sold them, and the Lord had shut them up? For their rock is not as our rock, even our enemies themselves being judges. For their vine is of the vine of Sodom, and of the fields of Gomorrah. Their grapes are grapes of gall, their clusters are bitter, their wine is the poison of dragons. and the cruel venom of asps. Is not this laid up in store with me, and sealed up among my treasures? To me belongeth vengeance and recompense. Their foot shall slide in due time, for the day of their calamity is at hand, and the things that shall come upon them make haste. For the Lord shall judge his people, and repent himself for his servants, when he seeth that their power is gone, and there is none shut up or left. And he shall say, Where are their gods, their rock in whom they trusted, which did eat the fat of their sacrifices, and drank the wine of their drink offerings? Let them rise up and help you, and be your protection. See now that I, even I, am he, and there is no God with me. I kill, and I make alive. I wound, and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. For I lift up my hand to heaven and say, I live forever. If I whet my glittering sword, and mine hand take hold on judgment, I will render vengeance to mine enemies, and will reward them that hate me. I will make mine arrows drunk with blood, and my sword shall devour flesh, and that with the blood of the slain and of the captives, from the beginning of revengers upon the enemy. Rejoice, O ye nations, with his people, for he will avenge the blood of his servants, and will render vengeance to his adversaries, and will be merciful unto his land and to his people. And Moses came and spake all the words of this song in the ears of the people, he and Hoshea the son of Nun. And Moses made an end of speaking all these words to all Israel. And he said unto them, Set your hearts unto all the words which I testify among you this day, which ye shall command your children to observe to do, all the words of this law. For it is not a vain thing to you, because it is your life, and through this thing ye shall prolong your days in the land, whither ye go over Jordan to possess it. And the Lord spake unto Moses that selfsame day, saying, Get thee up into this mountain Abarim, unto Mount Nebo, which is in the land of Moab, that is over against Jericho. And behold the land of Canaan, which I give unto the children of Israel for a possession. And die in the mount whither thou goest up, and be gathered unto thy people, as Aaron thy brother died in Mount Or, and was gathered unto his people, because ye trespassed against me among the children of Israel, at the waters of Midabah, Kadesh, in the wilderness of Zin, because ye sanctified me not in the midst of the children of Israel. Yet thou shalt see the land before thee, but thou shalt not go thither, unto the land which I give the children of Israel. Deuteronomy 33. And this is the blessing wherewith Moses, the man of God, blessed the children of Israel before his death. And he said, The Lord came from Sinai, and rose up from Seir unto them. He shined forth from Mount Paran, and he came with 10,000s of saints. From his right hand went a fiery law for them. Yea, he loved the people. All his saints are in thy hand, and they sat down at thy feet. Every one shall receive of thy word. Moses commanded us a law, even the inheritance of the congregation of Jacob. And he was king in Jeshurun, when the heads of the people and the tribes of Israel were gathered together. Let Reuben live and not die, and let not his men be few. And this is the blessing of Judah. And he said, Hear, Lord, the voice of Judah, and bring him unto his people. Let his hands be sufficient for him, and be thou an help to him from his enemies. And of Levi he said, Let thy Thummim and thy Urim be with thy Holy One, whom thou didst prove at Massah, and with whom thou didst strive at the waters of Meribah, who said unto his father and to his mother, I have not seen him, neither did he acknowledge his brethren, nor knew his own children. For they have observed thy word, and kept thy covenant. They shall teach Jacob thy judgments, and Israel thy law. They shall put incense before thee, and whole burnt sacrifice upon thine altar. Bless, Lord, his substance, and accept the work of his hands, Smite through the loins of them that rise against him, and of them that hate him, that they rise not again. And of Benjamin he said, the beloved of the Lord shall dwell in safety by him, and the Lord shall cover him all the day long, and he shall dwell between his shoulders. And of Joseph he said, blessed of the Lord be his land, for the precious things of heaven, for the dew, and for the deep that coucheth beneath, and for the precious fruits brought forth by the sun, and for the precious things put forth by the moon, and for the chief things of the ancient mountains, and for the precious things of the lasting hills, and for the precious things of the earth and fullness thereof, and for the goodwill of him that dwelt in the bush. Let the blessing come upon the head of Joseph, and upon the top of the head of him that was separated from his brethren. His glory is like the firstling of his bullock, and his horns are like the horns of unicorns. And then he shall push the people together to the ends of the earth. And they are the 10,000s of Ephraim, and they are the thousands of Manasseh. And of Zebulun he said, rejoice, Zebulun, in thy going out, and Issachar in thy tents. They shall call the people unto the mountain. There they shall offer sacrifices of righteousness. For they shall suck of the abundance of the seas, and of treasures hid in the sand. And of Gad he said, blessed be he that enlargeth Gad. He dwelleth as a lion, and teareth the arm with the crown of the head. And he provided the first part for himself, because there in a portion of the lawgiver was he seated. And he came with the heads of the people. He executed the justice of the Lord, and his judgments with Israel. And of Dan he said, Dan is a lion's whelp, he shall leap from Bashan. And of Naphtali he said, O Naphtali, satisfied with favor, and full with the blessing of the Lord, possess thou the west and the south. And of Asher he said, let Asher be blessed with children, let him be acceptable to his brethren, and let him dip his foot in oil. Thy shoes shall be iron and brass, and as thy days, so shall thy strength be. There is none like unto the God of Jeshurun, who rideth upon the heaven in thy help, and in his excellency on the sky. The eternal God is thy refuge, and underneath are the everlasting arms. And he shall thrust out the enemy from before thee, and shall say, destroy them. Israel then shall dwell in safety alone. The fountain of Jacob shall be upon a land of corn and wine. Also his heavens shall drop down dew. Happy art thou, O Israel. Who is like unto thee, O people saved by the Lord, the shield of thy help? And who is the sword of thy excellency? And thine enemies shall be found liars unto thee, and thou shalt tread upon their high places.
Seriously. You know the kind of version of it. And the best part is know I can't get that shirt again. Now it's disgusting because you've not showered, made it gross. That was my favorite shirt. Now I can never wear that shirt again because you literally like made it so gross. You need to start changing your clothes. Like I've seen like when I remember you wearing that shirt because it's my favorite shirt. You've been wearing it for like the whole time I've been here, maybe even longer. Like you need to like start changing your clothes. That really was my favorite shirt, and now it's destroyed. But just take care of yourself. Like like you can start getting like skin infections. Like, have you ever seen Monsters Inside Me? People would get that just from going to the river and stuff. You could literally have fucking bugs burrowing in your skin after how long you haven't been showering. I don't know. You just need to take care of yourself. Like, you haven't showered the whole time that I've even been here. Like, that whole room, when I just told you to turn your music down, the whole room stunk. Like, it stinks like being here talking to you. Like, don't you want to be able to hang out with me and Ava? Don't you want to be able to hold my daughter? Don't you want to be able to do that? Like, why would I want you to be able to do that, but like, I don't want you doing it if you're like really nasty and you could make my daughter sick. You know? I want you to be able to be that uncle. But you need to take care of yourself first. Like, seriously. Like, all it takes is getting in the shower and like changing your clothes. Like, you need to change your clothes like every day, even if you don't shower that day. Because like, do you not feel itchy or anything? I'm telling you this because I love you. Like, I'm not telling you this to nag. I'm telling you this because, like, it's getting crazy now. How much you don't shower. Like, I thought I didn't shower a lot. Like, you literally take the cake. Just take care of yourself. Like, shower today so you can hold my daughter. Shower today, change your clothes, put on deodorant. Do that so you can hold my kid. We're not going to be here too much longer. We're literally just stuck here because of the snow. Like, I want you to be able to, like, hold Ava at some point before I leave. Like, don't you want to be in her life? Like, her remember you as her uncle? And how is that going to happen if you don't interact with her ever? Like, you need to interact with my child. You're supposed to be your uncle. Remember we used to talk about, like, whenever we had kids, like, you would be there, we would be there for each other's kids. We would go on vacation. We would always talk about that in the future. And then, like, look at you now. You don't even try to interact with my kid. Your nails, like, do you like having nails that long? Longer than my nails. That's like, I don't know. Like, why don't you want to take care of yourself? You know you're not going to get better until you start doing self-care yourself. Until you start, it's going to take, like, showering. It's going to, even if you feel like you don't want to do it, you're never going to get better unless you start with your self-care first, which is, like, hygiene. Taking care of yourself, that's, like, the first step. You're not going to get better unless you start caring about yourself again. And caring about yourself includes showering, changing your clothes, brushing your teeth. That's caring about yourself. You need to start caring about yourself if you want to get better. Like, don't you want to one day, like, be able to, like, get better and have a job and, like, live a life of your own? Isn't that, like, the dream that everybody wants? Everybody wants that. Don't you want that one day? Don't you want to be, like, and it's going to take, like, going, because you're, to be able to, like, get social skills again, because, like, it's just, like, we're your family, and then you get so, like, uncomfortable around me, and I'm your family. That makes no sense. Like, why do you, like, run away and act weird around me? That makes no sense. Like, your social skills are just, like, That's why, like, you need to start going to, like, first, like, a psychiatrist to see, like, why you're acting that way around your family, why you feel so uncomfortable, and then also, you need to, like, regain your social skills back. You need to talk to somebody that can help you with your social skills. Because, you know what, to get a job, to do anything, to have friends, like, it includes social skills. And when you were talking about, like, me and Rachel, like, you sounded fine. Like, you sounded completely fine, but it's like, I don't know, like, I've just heard when you hung out with your friends, you just, like, break down and, like, get uncomfortable. Just start with yourself. Like, the only way is starting with yourself. Okay? Like, can you, like, shower and change and do that so you can hold my daughter later? Can you do that for me? To hold my daughter? Like, you don't even care to hold my daughter? You don't care? You don't care about my child? Logan, can you talk to me? Logan. Like, I know you can hear me. Like, why are you ignoring me? Whatever. Like, you're never gonna have a relationship with my kid if you keep acting like this. Ever. Like,
Stop the clocks, it's amazing. You should see the way the light dances up your head. A million colors of hazel, golden red. Saturday morning is fading. The sun's reflected by the carpet in your hand. My eyes are caught in your gaze all over again.
Is there ever a bad time to meet George Clooney? If you're Ashley Judd, it's at a Kentucky basketball game. Ashley tells us the story on Huge Fan, the podcast where stars talk sport. Tap now to listen.
Walking home and talking low, seeing shows and evening clothes with you. For nervous times and getting drunk, staying up till we get hurt with you. I was sleeping at the edge, oh there's something we don't need. Oh this delusion in our heads is gonna bring us to our knees. So come on let it go, just let throwing clothes across the floor. To teeth and claws and slamming doors at you. If this is all we're living for, why are we doing it anymore? I used to recognize myself on the affections chain. And we're becoming something else. I think it's time to walk away. Come on, let it go. Just let it be. Why don't you be you? Everything is wrong. Leave it to the breeze. Why don't you be you? And I'll be me. And I'll be me. So if your hand inside, when you know it touched on the wall, no force on earth can make it feel right. No. Oh, try to push this problem up the hill, it's just too heavy to hold. Think now's the time to let it slide. So come on, let it go. Oh, just let it be. Why don't you be you? And I'll be me. Everything is wrong. Leave it to the breeze. Let the ashes fall. Forget about me. Come on, let it go. Just let it be. Why don't you be you? And I'll be me. Yeah, I'll be me.
In Texas, whether it's work or play, Ford trucks lead the way. Like the Ford F-150 with best-in-class available towing and payload. Or the Ford Super Duty with best-in-class horsepower, payload, and conventional towing. Ford trucks come with premium features that make the Ford F-Series America's best-selling truck for 44 years. And the best-selling truck in Texas. Upgrade to a new Ford F-Series today only at your Texas Ford dealer. Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty. Built for Texas. Built for you. Based on 1977 to 2020 CY total sales.
Ranked #1 in innovation, Arizona State University offers more than 200 world-class degree programs and personalized support to empower your path. Discover the ASU difference. Tap to learn more or visit asuonline.asu.edu.
Here's to the ones that we got. Cheers to the wish you were here, but you left. Cause the drinks bring back all the memories of everything we've been through. Toast to the ones here today. Toast to the ones that we lost on the way. Cause the drinks bring back all the memories. And the memories bring back you. There's a just for you, but you know I'll never drop. Yeah, everybody hurts sometimes, everybody hurts someday. Everything gon' be alright. Gonna raise a glass and say, hey, here's to the ones that we got. Cheers to the wish you were here, but you're not. 'Cause the drinks bring back all the memories of everything we've been through. Toast to the ones here today. Toast to the ones that we lost on the way. 'Cause the drinks bring back all the memories, and the memories bring back your. Memories bring back your. Memories bring back your. Memories bring back your. Club isn't the best place to find the lovers, so the bar is where I go. Me and my friends at the table doing shots, tripping fast, and then we talk slow. And we come over and start up a conversation. You touch me, I do the trance. Now take my hand, stop the kind of man in the jukebox, and then we start to dance. And now singing like, girl, you know I want your love. Your love was handmade for somebody like me. Come on now, follow my lead. I may be crazy, don't mind me. Say, boy, let's not talk too much. Grab on my waist and put that body on me. Come on now, follow my lead. Come on now, follow my lead. I'm in love with the shape of you. We push and pull like a magnet do. Although my heart is falling too. I'm in love with your body. And last night you were in my room, and now my bedsheets smell like you. Every day discovering something brand new. I'm in love with your body. 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 Every day discovering something brand new. I'm in love with the shape of you. When we came, we let the story begin. We're going out on our first date. You and me is thrifty, so go all you can eat. Fill up your bag and I fill up the plate. We talk for hours and hours about the sweet and the sour and how your family's doing okay. And leaving, getting a taxi, kissing the backseat, tell the driver make the radio play. And singing like, girl, you know I want your love. Your love was handmade for somebody like me. Come on now, follow my lead. I may be crazy, don't mind me. Say, boy, let's not talk too much. Grab on my waist and put that body on me. Come on now, follow my lead. Come on now, follow my lead.
Love getting prices that are lower than low on food that's fresher than fresh? Then shop at Kroger. We give you more ways to save on the fresh you love with tools like the Kroger app, where you can find personalized coupons on top of weekly sales, giving you prices that are lower than the everyday low. Kroger.
Join the future of live radio.
Get creative. Get the Stereo app. Download today.
Blicky the blicky the blicky the blicky the blicky. Gang, gang, gang. When I get the swerving on them, spinning the curve up on them, sending suburbans on them, and we lurking on them, ain't no funeral service for 'em. I'm on the mission for 'em. Sniper gang got the vision on them. Never snitch and go to prison for 'em. 100 round drum, 30 clippers on them, blood dripping on them. Pussy nigga when it gets the game, you know that's a violation. Penalty is death, take his last breath. Bullets burning like I'm frying bacon. Niggas down waiting, never mind the hating. I'm a general nigga, I'm about to put an end to you niggas. Niggas fuck your baby mama, spent up all your money, yo, you still was telling them niggas. You was with this gang banging, you was trying to be like 22. I'm responsible for all you niggas, I'm the realest nigga, tell the truth. And I know I might alarm you, nobody thinks you a dumb Q. 30 round knocking off a limb, maybe leg, head, plus an arm too. I can look into your eyes, know you never been on a mission. Some niggas be bitching, never really listen, get put in a ditch and now his mama missing. I put out that hit and now we gotta get him, we caught us a lick and now we gotta wet him. This ain't no Tory Lanez, I pull out that blick and leave no remains. You don't want these blicky niggas parked inside a hybrid. Look what I did, got the ladder hanging out the stick, looking like a hybrid. You can die, kid. Bust real right, y'all can suck a dick and get killed too. Y'all know damn well who got y'all mans hit, even Kuda's blood is just spilled too. Killing niggas and I rap about it like I'm Melly, nigga. Ain't no shit that you could tell me, nigga. Murder on my mind, is you ready, nigga? I'm a deadly, nigga. Can't compare my shit to none of these bitch niggas. Not JD, not D-Sav, and especially not that snitch nigga. I'm gripping this bomb.
Don't smack on that phone out there. Anything you don't smack on that phone out there. Anything you don't smack on that phone out there. On that phone out there. On that phone out there. Anything you don't smack on that phone out there. Anything you don't smack on that phone out there. Anything you don't smack on that phone out there.
OJ got that juice.
For them 6 figures, you see 6 figures. Coming out that dog, you hear stalking, now you disfigured. I really bliss niggas, mad so I go get niggas. Looking for my real ops, I ain't talking about that 6 nigga, bitch nigga. Cause I'm really a lunatic, I've been about, I'm booming shit, still spinning, I'm too used to it. That 40 make my nose fit. Tech it, gotta cool it, kid. I'm in the streets, no suicide shit, you tough with it, I'm cool with it. I used to go to school with it, Caucasian up, he slide with it. That clippo in the side of it, I'm smoking ops a lot of it. I'm done with ski, I'm tired of it. Name any beat, I body it. I keep a chop karate kick. You a rat, it's obvious. I do it head and nine, I move your body like a cardigan. No chit chat, no bargaining, no back and forth, no arguing. That 40 shoe like marking. I see any out from targeting. Got chops with different cartridges. We robbing all the robbers, cause we taking what you marketing. I'm still in the hood with it. I still busting jugs with it. I trap with it, I cook with it. Just hit my jack, don't look for moving up just like the Jeffersons. Busting jugs on Lexington. In the spot, I'm stepping in. I even got my weapon in. You get clapped if you next to him. We pull up and we stressing him like Malcolm put an X in me. Shoulda had a vest with him. I'm still on my trap and shit, shipping, receiving packages. With disappear, no magic trick, cutting short like an acronym. When one thing we spin back again, can still a scar. No mistakes like an asterisk. I shoot my shot, it's accurate. Took a break, but I got back to it. Put you on my trays and savages. Drop my shit, I'm clapping it. But Cheryl start attacking. Tell what's happening. Shocking like the front of them. Bullets come out the back of them. They done got me hyped up. Now they done got me charged up. Take them on and mix them with some blue, and then I spark up. We still spinning blocks back to back, and then we park up. Blue day, hopping out the beach, shoot the park up.
Dee, can you please check if your brother's ready for school?
blicky, the blicky, the blicky. Deep down inside, I know you niggas are scared. You niggas keep dissing and dropping race. I give you niggas careers. You should be grateful for me. Say thank you to me, cause you shooting for heads. You left me something to whip. Toe tag, they been out to the bed. Deep down inside, I know you niggas are scared. You niggas keep dissing and dropping race. I give you niggas careers. You should be grateful for me. Say thank you to me, cause you shooting for heads. You left me something to whip. Toe tag, they been out to the bed. If it wasn't on 2 for G's, nigga, who would you diss? I don't even know you niggas. You don't even spend. Pop out with snipers and blickies, got blockers and trolls, fucked up in the lit. Niggas be saying it's lit, but really that ain't what it is. Pop out, that's a stain on the plate. I ain't heard your name in a minute. These niggas be playing a snitch. Mention the stage they big. I ain't say his name on the clip, cause he try to play with a flip. I'm putting this thing on cement. Whatever I'm saying, I'm it. Deep down inside, I know you niggas are scared. You niggas keep dissing and dropping race. I give you niggas careers. You should be grateful for me. Say thank you to me, cause you shooting for heads. You left me something to whip. Toe tag, they been out to the bed. Deep down inside, I know you niggas are scared. You niggas keep dissing and dropping race. I give you niggas careers. You should be grateful for me. Say thank you to me, cause you shooting for heads. You left me something to whip. Toe tag, they been out to the bed. I know these niggas my fans. Copy my bot, my stance. Killing my drip, my swag. Might as well call me a dad. Cause I don't bother your flow. Sick it for me and we already know. Niggas can copy my dance. Added they moves and made it their own. Niggas is duplicates. But they the real thing, they ain't really shooting shit. What's on the backseat? Charges don't tell me that you really classy. Got you on the backseat. Passenger side, some room for the backseat. You niggas ain't active. You don't make the movies, you niggas ain't active. Deep down inside, I know you niggas are scared. You niggas keep dissing and dropping race. I give you niggas careers. You should be grateful for me. Say thank you to me, cause you shooting for heads. You left me something to whip. Toe tag, they been out to the bed. Deep down inside, I know you niggas are scared. You niggas keep dissing and dropping race. I give you niggas careers. You should be grateful for me. Say thank you to me, cause you shooting for heads. You left me something to whip. Toe tag, they been out to the bed. Bop, bop, bop. Suck my dick.
Any credit card can offer cash back, but only Discover matches all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year. It's like getting one of those birthday cards that's shaped like cash, so you already know there's cash inside before opening it. But in this case, it's stuck with your first year cash back match, and you don't even have to send a thank you note. Cashback match. Only by Discover Card. Learn more at discover.com/match. Discover. Something brighter.
Searching for meaning in a relentless world. But there is another path, where the battle to belong begins. Awakened by a calling, united by purpose, defined by the cause you fight for. No one can take away what it means to be among the few, the proud, the Marines. Learn more at marines.com.
Twirl, twirl. Gang. When we spin through, it's the deal with. We caught an op at like 308. Fuck it and fuck up a BOA. I think they mad that I beat the case. I'm ballin' work, I don't need a way. Catch a man down, then I speed away. Gang. Sniper the blick. Boy, you at least tryna lean on me. Who got? Can't speak on it. Fat ass butt, I'ma squeeze on it. Better back up, I'll squeeze on it. We spotted, we on it. Let us some shots, we off this. Slick talk, but I had a bing on you. Walk up, drop out, spin on him. Fuck all the ice, I'ma kill on him. I'll treat back, I'll piss on him. Free game, where I miss all him. Lock up the whip, make it flip over. See you on the rock, told her bend over. Bust up the spot, I got 10 on him. Count how the rock, see the bling on it. The drip, I drop, I rain on him. When we spin through, it's the deal with. We caught an op at like 308. Fuck it and fuck up a BOA. I think they mad that I beat the case. I'm ballin' work, I don't need a way. Catch a man down, then I speed away. Gang. Sniper the blicky. When we spin through, it's the deal with. We caught an op at like 308. Fuck it and fuck up a BOA. I think they mad mad that I beat the case. I'm ballin' work, I don't need a wait. Catch a man down, then I speed away. Gang, gang. Slap for the bitch, blick, blick. Perky's bustin', shoot up the function. Ain't for his pumpkin, word to my mother. Flock up the junction, this off the top, ain't no punching. Shout out my brother. Brody gon' punch it, folks out everywhere lurking. Who you gon' run to? Wish a nigga touch me. Sniper disciples, my shooters gon' come through. When we spin through, it's a deal with. We caught an op at like 308. Fuck it and fuck up a BOA. I think they mad that I beat the case. I'm ballin' work, I don't need a wait. Catch a man down, then I speed away. Gang, gang. Sniper the blick, blick, blick. I'm gripping the spot, run up, get clipped in your heart. I skirt off this switch up and park. These niggas is talk, I'm still in a hole when it's dark. These niggas can't slide on my park. I'm gripping the thing, riding the switch in the lanes. Run up, get switched in your brain. I'm gripping the thing, I do this shit for the gang. Good at the bang. I'm gripping the spot, run up, get clipped in your heart. I skirt off this switch up and park. These niggas is talk, still in a hole when it's dark. These niggas can't slide on my park. I'm gripping the thing, riding the switch in the lanes. Run up, get switched in your brain. I'm gripping the thing, I do this shit for the gang. Good at the bang.
Yeah, bro.
I do this
My
shit
lockdown
for the gang.
defender
Niggas,
can
you know
shoot
what the
threes,
name,
bro.
immaculate ways. You have to fuck with the pace, but I'm fully max to the grave. Can't fuck with the ops. Niggas be talking too hot. Ain't getting no beef for the guap, but you better
Doesn't
not.
follow why
Gotta
boy
keep
booty
it
naked
alive,
and
but you
open,
never
you know
be
what
on
I'm
the
saying?
block. I creep in the spot, putting some weed in my sock. 3 pieces don't mean me a lot. I leave with a knot. Don't try to pre in a lot, or I'm sending 3 at your top. Hey, touchdown, pop Chevys, running to the bank 'cause you know the guap ready. Brim ready, rock steady, bending up the block till we know the ops dead. I'm gripping the spot, run up, get clipped in your heart. I skirt off this switch up and park. These niggas is talk, I'm still in a hole when it's dark. These niggas can't slide on my park. I'm gripping the thing, riding this switch in the lanes. Run up, get switched in your brain. I'm gripping the thing, I do this shit for the gang. Good at the bang. I'm gripping the spot, run up, get clipped in your heart. I skirt off this switch up and park. These niggas is talk, still in a hole when it's dark. These niggas can't slide on my park. I'm gripping the thing, riding the switch in the lanes. Run up, get switched in your brain. I'm gripping the thing, I do this shit for the gang. Good at the
And all the extra.
yes, I'm macking and balling, nigga. I've been down with the strap like I'm strapping and calling niggas. Man, what's up with them
You can
garbage
only
niggas?
get
Nigga,
famous,
rapping too long, but I feel like I fathered niggas. Every day it's a body, nigga. Just portray on the way, now I feel like that shoddy, nigga. Gotta roll with the gummy, nigga. 'Cause I'm really with niggas who really catch homies, nigga. Ain't here for the chatty. Tell them no niggas to send out the addy. This talking no whooping, it's making me aggy. We start them, we chalk them, no dizzies and Cali. Ayy, they know the vibes. Still on the block, they ain't coming outside. We gon' still make it hot. Give a fuck about them guys. We gon' roll up that op if he dead or alive. Gang, I'm gripping the spot.
And I
Run
was
up,
doing
get
that
in your heart. I skirt
at
up
the
this
same
switch up
time.
and park. These niggas is talk.
While I
I'm
was
still
in
in the hole
football.
when it's dark. These niggas can't slide on my
And I
park.
was
I'm
doing
gripping
that at the
thing.
same time
Riding and switching the
when I was
lanes.
in
Run up, get switched in your
soccer.
brain. I'm gripping the thing. I do this shit for
And
the
I was
gang.
doing that at the same time when I was in
Run up, get
the
in
other
your heart.
soccer.
I skirt up this switch up and
The one
park. These
outside of
niggas is
school,
talk.
bro.
I'm still in the hole when it's dark. These
And
niggas can't slide on my
I
park.
was
I'm
doing
gripping
that
the thing.
at the same
Riding
time
and
when I was
switching the lanes. Run up, get switched in your brain. I'm gripping the thing. I do this shit for the gang. Good at the bang.
And I will stay at the person, bitch. And I will run with the people who ran. You feel me? Cause I like running, bro.
Baby, I got so much ice on my blend that I feel like it's salary. New blicky, get the burning shit up. No, I ain't talking calories. Y'all niggas capping, we strapped to my shooters, pull up, it's a tragedy. Blicky to blicky, all of my niggas is staticky. Blicky to blicky to blicky. Baby, I got so much ice on my blend that I feel like it's salary. New blicky, get the burning shit up. No, I ain't talking calories. Y'all niggas capping, we strapped to my shooters, pull up, it's a tragedy. Blicky to blicky, all of my niggas is staticky. You got broken batteries, please don't get turned to a tragedy. Diamonds on me, see the clarity. Ain't got my gun and I'm stabbing them. All of my niggas be staticky. But let's get back to reality. I'm making more than your salary. Probably the reason they mad at me. Pull up, we burning off calories. Black suburban just a casualty. Baby, I got so much ice on my pendant. Changing my ways in the life that I'm living. Fellas up with the way I've been tripping. Bubble cup, no bitch be sipping. I'm headed straight to the top of my nigga. Say the wrong thing, you get dropped on my hitter. And I got aim on it down that he get up. Catching stains, leave you missing. Blicky to blicky. Baby, I got so much ice on my pen that I feel like it's salary. New blicky, get the burning shit up. No, I ain't talking calories. Y'all niggas capping, we strapped to my shooters, pull up, it's a tragedy. Blicky to blicky, all of my niggas is staticky. Blicky to blicky to blicky. Baby, I got so much ice on my When I get the swerving on them, spinning the curve up on them, sending some purpose on them, and we looking on them, ain't no funeral service for 'em. I'm on a mission for 'em. Sniper gang got the vision on 'em. Never snitching, go to prison for 'em. 100-round drum, 30 clippers on 'em, blood dripping on 'em. Pussy nigga when it just a game, you know that's a violation. Penalty is death, take his last breath, bullets burning like I'm frying bacon. Niggas dying waiting, never mind the hating. I'm a general nigga, I'm about to put an end to you niggas. Niggas fuck your baby mama, spent up all your money, yo, you was telling them niggas. You was with this gang banging, you was trying to be like 22. I'm responsible for all you niggas, I'm the realest nigga, tell the truth. And I know I might alarm you, nobody thinks you a dumb Q. 30 round knocking off a limb, maybe leg, head, plus an arm too. I can look into your eyes, know you never been on a mission. Some niggas be bitching, never really listen, get put in a ditch and now his mama missing. I put out that hit and now we gotta get him, we caught us a lick and now we gotta wet him. This shit ain't no Tory Lanez, I pull out that blick and leave no remains. You don't want these blicky niggas parked inside a hybrid. Get what I did. Got the ladder hanging out the stick, looking like a hybrid. You can die, kid. Bust real right, got the stuff and stick and get killed too. That whole damn bro got y'all man's hit. Even cool the blood is just built too. Killing niggas and I rap about it like I'm Melly, nigga. Ain't no shit that you could tell me, nigga. Murder on my mind, is you ready, nigga? I'm a deadly, nigga. Can't compare my shit to none of these bitch niggas. Not JD, not D7, and especially not that snitch nigga. I'm feeling this squeeze, I got F as a bitches, I'm right in my swag. They tryna put me, but I need to back it up front just to pull out that first thing say. Let him suck to his kidney, his liver, and if he ain't dead, we gon' unload the rest. Get up your ass and go get you a bag, I be dripping and flexing, my pockets stay fat. Like I ain't no longer my stretch and push up on whatever my young niggas pay. If I do him dirty, I promise he shot with a 30 and he'll get the feeling like still. I got the cool bitch, we right in the field, get the blow in this bitch like a motherfucking round. Ain't on the thing, bitch, it's money to make you, the fuck if you with it, get right or get left. I know I got niggas upset cause my chain BBS, but I really came from the J. Security K out to go flex, called up for the place, bitch, I'm tryna step on the neck. Think I'ma die for respect, right to the left, shawty gon' open his chest, pull up, we leaving a mess, ice on my neck, flooded it out, flex, I'm gonna back out, pulling straps out, tear nigga back down, get the bullet cash out, bring the racks out, fuck I make a tap out, stick up the trap with 100 pipes, if it's water we purchase 100 nights, oh my eyes know this blicky ain't nothing nice, get you pop with a blizzard, you act alike, we gon' fight on this block if it's necessary, 2 G's in that fit, bitch is legendary, hit him up with the Glock, he get buried there, suck a dick in the glizzy is very stale, you a hoe like your pops is hereditary, we gon' march like a month after February, main bitch acting up got a secondary, if we play we gon' give him a cemetery, okay, ratchet, I'm feeling this squeeze, I got F as a blicky, I'm right in my swag, they tryna put me, but I need to back it up front just to pull up that first thing say, let him suck to his kidney, his liver, and if he ain't dead, we gon' unload the rest, get up your ass and go get you a bag, I be dripping and flexing, my pockets stay fat, like I ain't no longer my stretch and push up on whatever my young niggas pay, if I do him dirty, I promise he shot with a 30 and he'll get the feeling like still, I got the cool bitch, we right in the field, get the blow in this bitch like a motherfucking round, ain't on the thing, bitch, it's money to make you, the fuck if you with it, get right or get left. Sniper, blicky, blicky, blicky.
You work hard, you play hard. You need a laptop that can keep up with you. Laptops powered by 11th Gen Intel Core processors have the speed you need and the graphics you'll love. And you can save up to $300 on select models at Best Buy. Best Buy. Let's talk about what's possible.
demons trying to wake me up. Call me Lil Kodak off a jigger when I'm booted up. The stars align now, it's on time, you never do enough. I got the guts, I made a addy, I ain't pulling up. I get high by myself, I don't need no one else. My bank account on tilt, these rookies want to spill. Mad cause I made a deal, life of an outsider. Bitch, we up in the hills, all black like bike riders. I pulled out with the mob, we had to jug and rob. Trapping was like a job, now we eat shish kebabs. Sit back and laugh at it, now we the trending topic. I know they see me now, like boy that nigga poppin'. I call up young bands, pull out the minivans. And if that nigga talking, we'll pop you in your mans. Bitch, I don't fear nobody, I feel like Killer Cam. I'm in a black coupe, zooming like Batman. And I cut a drug for like nigga holy. Can you rap like me? I gotta get my fresh paper, boy, optimistic, inflicted the premonition. My vision, the place I vision while lifted. Moolah, I get it, the life I live, my decision. They told me to go and get it, I got it, so now I'm with it. Revolution of fury, the lean got my vision blurry. Ballin' like Stephen Curry, go face in my mouth so pervy. Trippy, bring demolition, and I ain't talking no dirty. So go your blow like I'm Kirby, the light you tell when I hurt me. Try to reach for the stars, if people don't get too far, they want all of the money, all the expensive cars. It's few people that ever make it, but yeah, I still gotta go hard. A lot of artists that made it are evil hearts like a star, yeah. Okay, and this is for every rapper that had a shot at sending me. Your efforts ain't getting you anywhere in this industry. Lyrically, demonically dominate your flow. Endlessly, my venomous rhymes wine and dine on you mentally motivated. The motivation say I got too much chemistry, fatality. Like Lil Kane told me to finish him. Even though I couldn't take this much intensity, I'm the bullet in the barrel and the gun that shot Kennedy. Minus racing, I'm hating, contemplation with Haitian Jamaicans. Sitting on 55 patients, back and forth waiting and dating. You get the picture, don't take this. Boy, this life is real, you couldn't fake this. Throw it down, regurgitation. Can't sit on me, you constipated. Is you mad cause we do this on a daily basis? Yeah, or is you mad cause we made it? Every day faded, we out here paper chasing. Bitch, hey, hey, hey. Can you rap like me? Hey, hey, can you rap like me? Look at 1400 gang, you know what the fuck, 1400 boys. Yeah, can't go higher shit. Boop! The bitch! Slap, you know the fuck going on. Hundreds of bitch. Bad Milo. Random thoughts to you, bitch. Got a love letter to you, bitch. Remember,
You know I got that banger on me. You know I'm a gangsta homie. Still from us, we cut off niggas. Famous. I got to keep this banger with me. The drum hole 150. Hopping out big bags and pistols. Red diamonds, blue diamonds, white diamonds, my crew shine. Gold mining, gold diggers. Beat the lining up out the pussy. That nigga might just try to eat the liner. Stand behind me cause I'm the finest. Gucci Mane, nigga say your highness. Ball out like George Gervin. I'm a real killer, but a good polish. Ain't no turf, it ain't your turf. Got a white little jet like a starburst. Everybody start running, this outburst in my concert. In my converse, in my converter. Can't converse with no false words. You know I got that banger on me. You know I'm a gangsta homie. Still from us, we cut off niggas. Fighters. I got to keep this banger with me. The drum hole 150. Hopping out big bags of pistols. Hanging. You know I got that banger on me. You know I'm a gangsta homie. Still from us, we cut off niggas. Fighters. I got to keep this banger with me. The drum hole 150. Hopping out big bags of pistols.
Banger, Ezra Slanger. I got cash about the anus. You won't be, go buy your angus. Pistol speak another language. This nigga the lamest, goofiest. Remain the same. Block on me, I bang it. In my truck is banging, stankin'. Don't want your crew, it's stankin'. Take 100 jab on white, then I slang it. Hey, my D-line, I named it Brandon. I'm a gangbanger, not a witness, ain't got no statement. One in the head, it's all safe. So let a nigga try to play me. GTA me. Same blow his ass, pistols get the spray. Banging.
You know I got that banger on me. You know I'm a gangsta homie. Still from us, we cut off niggas. Fighters. I got to keep this banger with me. The drum hole 150. Hopping out big bags of pistols. Hanging. You know I got that banger on me. You know I'm a gangsta homie. Still from us, we cut off niggas. Fighters. I got to keep this banger with me. The drum hole 150. Hopping out big bags of pistols. Hanging. Hanging. Bang. 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 You know I got that banger on me. You know I'm a gangsta homie. Still from us, we cut off niggas. Fighters. I got to keep this banger with me. The drum hole 150. Hopping out big bags of pistols. Hanging. Bitch on Gucci, man, you heard that I go Coco Loco. So much money that my pit boy got a diamond joker. I'm on the yacht, me and my plug, and yeah, we playing poker. Sipping colada, smoking ganja, he's a heavy smoker. I started right here in the city, they call me a local. I rob you blind and burn the money like the fucking Joker. And if you don't believe me, ask them hoes and strokers. So much money in the air, can't even see the sofa. So much good smoke in the air, can't help but smell the odor. They say I took so many deuces, my own need a motor. Half a pint and a Mountain Dew, now that's a dirty soda. And I sell so many chickens, think I work for Kroger.
I'm flexing, counting gualas, pockets, Lexus, I don't run. Bad yellow bitch, passenger, Lexus, she's a runner. She was down the road with me and she gon' hold my dogger. If she see her up, I tell her papa, she gon' papa. I was like Tupac Notorious, bitch, I'm Big Papa. If I see her up, I'm spot him, shot him, bitch, I got him. Drive through, in and out, I'm throw him up. Been in homies, riding, hit me, send me on me, catch his ass, send me on me. I just shot and call it since I hit the lotto ballin'. My diamonds no voodoo, 504 bitch, they from New Orleans. Bringing money, calling, gotta go, you not important. I'm smoking tutu and tuka and counting money touring. My Ruger hold a 30, you can hold a fucking chorus. That's 80 shots at your face, better be good at ducking bullets. Pull up in that Lord, that's that shit them hoes adore. I pull up to the club and tell a bitch to hop aboard. Baby, I'm a king, I know I am not a lord, but I'm already sewing, that's that shit that us and shots is for. I'm smoking paraphernalia with a Glock and tour. Make that bitch sing a melody, you get lots of chords. I'm flexing, counting gualas, pockets, Lexus, I don't run. Bad yellow bitch, passenger, Lexus, she's a runner. She was down the road with me and she gon' hold my dogger. If she see her up, I tell her papa, she gon' papa. I always like Tupac Notorious, bitch, I'm Big Papa.
With no fees or minimums on checking and savings accounts, banking with Capital One is like the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Kind of like Taylor Swift choosing what to wear.
It's looking kind of chilly out today. I think I'll go with a cardigan.
Yep, even easier than that. And with our top-rated app, you can bank anytime, anywhere, making Capital One an even easier. That's banking reimagined. It's in your wallet. You consumer account, particular account, Capital One.
If it's time to sell your car, it's time to start at CarMax. Whether you're trading in, trading out, or moving on, start at CarMax before you go to the dealer. At CarMax, you'll get a custom offer on your car good for 7 days, so you can think it over, shop it around, or leave with payment in hand. And we'll buy your car even if you don't buy ours. So get your custom offer today, and know where you stand before you go to the dealer. Click the banner now to get started at CarMax. Get our car selling quickly.
Hey, bitch so bad with the snake skin. Hey, foreign duty dash, you know I'm racing. All my rats the fucking same, yeah, they're Jason. All the motherfuckers is blue faces. Made a lot of fucking millions off the pavement. And took a lot of bases and waiting aces. Hey, for suicide, 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 don't commit no suicide. Say no to suicide, 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 what? These niggas gon' kill themselves, they see me stuck. These niggas gon' kill themselves, they see me making money. Please nigga, don't kill yourself. Say no to suicide, down there. Say no to suicide, down there. Say no to suicide, down there. Say no to suicide, don't try me. Don't die, slime on with dope, slime on with troops. Pussy nigga talk out, then we slime on my whoop. Shine in that grind, throw it down like a hoop. Ayy, bad bitch in her ass is a tooth, but that stomach is a cute. Nigga, what it do? Big red counting blue. Whip like one time soup, with your bitch like two. 20 birds in a coop. Oh, ayy. Bitch so bad in a snake skin. Ayy, All my racks are singing and chasing. All the motherfuckers is some blue faces. Hey, all my racks I made out the pavement. Patience, waiting for suicide. Suicide, 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 suicide. Don't commit no suicide. Say no to suicide, suicide, suicide. Suicide, what? These niggas gon' kill themselves, they see me stuck. These niggas gon' kill themselves, they see me making money. Please nigga, don't kill yourself. Say no to suicidal, down there. Say no to suicidal, down there. Say no to suicidal, down there. Say no to suicide, go down there, go down there.
Minister Malcolm, the thing that I thought might be good for starting it off is to talk about one of the most pervasive beliefs in general society about the nation of Islam.
Talking to you like talking to myself, cause there ain't no getting through to you with all that swell. And I've been thinking about you since I came to jail. I tried to reach out to you, but it was no avail. Guess it ain't nothing else to do when we outgrew each other. We hard down beefing like we never knew each other. Talk about the coupe, no bikini, became my life now. I'm sipping Bellini, living that lifestyle.
And that is that it is an organization dedicated to the use of violent means to attain its goals. The question I have is, how true is this? And why do you think it persists in society?
Popping pills, I put my mic down. I almost lost my life that night, I was on a bloodhound. They trying to tell us put the bikes up and the guns down. X was trying to buy a bike and he got gunned down. X was trying to change his life but he got gunned down. X went around with no pipe so he got gunned down. Listen, do as I say, don't do as I do. 9 out of 10 it ain't gonna end up looking good for you.
Have never at any time been guilty of initiating any aggressive acts of violence during the entire 33 years or more that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad has been teaching us.
If I weren't rich, you wouldn't be pulling up to my funeral. First they kissing you, hugging you, then they suing you. If it was me, it was you, I'm wondering what you would do. I just pulled up on your mama, homie, she beautiful. Yeah, gotta keep the strap, can't let you latch all on me. I got married to the game, she put these racks all on me. Now I got diamonds on my ring, look like a matrimony. First you screaming my name, then falling lawsuit on me. You would hate to see me reach my full potential. You want me robbing, popping Molly, popping pistol. I'm going to college, cut to the Yankees, I'm influential. Thought it was Congress, they ain't know this was a presidential. They ain't know that I was intellectual. You trying to change your life, but they won't let you. I know they know I'm special, why they playing with me? You talking jewels, I'm dropping jewels, you see the difference. Carving jewels for your dog, they don't appreciate it. Everybody gon' say you fake when you make it. Back to the Maybach with the tent so you don't notice me. When the money bring the fame, you can't even roll in peace. Just all the pain that I went through had to be the recipe. I stood tall through it all and brought out the best in me. Hey yo, dismiss all them charges, that ain't my destiny. Everything I said, I stood on it, I got integrity. Yeah, I put my hood on it, I bring the chest with me. You need security by your grade to keep arresting me.
Charge of violence against us actually stems from the guilt complex that exists in the conscious and subconscious minds of most white people in this country. They know that they've been violent in their brutality against Negroes. And they feel that someday the Negro is going to wake up and try and do unto them as they have done do unto the whites as the whites have done unto us.
so alive with you. And you know I would die for you. This is weak, baby, know I would cry for you. Yeah, yeah, die for you. Ain't no way anybody gon' feel this way. I don't think anybody gon' love you this way. You flattered by what I said, baby, you're a housewife. Conversations I had to get off my brain. Doing 200 on the dash on the highway. Don't got no time for no fuckery to my games. My brain, yeah. You give me life, you give me life, you give me a reason why, so give me time. You give me high when you cross my mind. Give me suicide when I feel so alive with you. And you know I would die for you. This is weak, baby, know I would cry for you. Yeah, yeah, die for you. Hey, it was always a fucking goal to give all your niggas hell, you know what I mean? Yeah! I love you, too, ooh, for your boo, hey. Baby, wish me well, wish me well. It's all legit, just like a wish you well. To give them hell, and you know that I'm living hell, I'm living hell, I'm hell for I live in hell. I let the money dance, the diamond blings all by itself without any help. So that means it shine on its own without any gold. I've been the king without any throne. It's time to take your ass to school, ain't no place like home on 1400 with the screw up kids. Don't screw up kid on that chopper, wet your crew up kid. I'm too up kid, we animals better zoo up kid. I'm from Kenya, but the whole country where I blew up big. Who knew us kid? I think I came from under a rock, was out on the block. My cousin had that shit in his sock, he moving to work. Yo bitch all over my cock, I put dick in her mouth like the whole mother of bombs. And I ain't talking Donald Trump, but I take Donald out the trunk and let Donald's ass bust if you keep talking down on gang. I just put up in a lamb, cause I put up in a range. And we reload in them sticks, little nigga, we really do things, ayy. Hold up, give 'em hell, give 'em hell. I've been on the road, wish me well, yeah. Give 'em hell, give 'em hell. I've been on the road, wish me well, wish me well. Baby, wish me well, wish me well. It's all legit, just like a wish you well. To give 'em hell, and you know that I live in hell, I'm living hell, I'm hell for I live in hell. Baby, wish me well, wish me well. It's all legit, just like a wish you well. To give 'em hell, and you know that I live in hell, I'm living hell, I'm hell for I live in hell. Baby, wish me well. Baby, wish me well. Baby, wish me well. Ooh, I'm like sorry now about you. Ooh, I'm like wish me well, little boo. Ooh, I tried to love that out of you. Yeah, give me love, little boo. Yeah, sorry now about you. Ooh, say wish me well, little boo. Yeah, screaming wish me well, little boo. Bitch.
In Texas, whether it's work or play, Ford trucks lead the way. Like the Ford F-150 with best-in-class available towing and payload. Or the Ford Super Duty with best-in-class horsepower, payload, and conventional towing. Ford trucks come with premium features that make the Ford F-Series America's best-selling truck for 44 years. And the best-selling truck in Texas. Upgrade to a new Ford F-Series today only at your Texas Ford dealer. Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty. Built for Texas. Built for you. Based on 1977 to 2020. See why total sales.
Even though it isn't healthy, won't you help me? I need some more love. Even though I'm not myself, please, won't you help me? I need some more love. Yeah, won't you help me? I need help, please. I need some more love. Yeah, won't you help me? This not healthy, but I need some more love. Yeah, fuck my life, baby, fuck my life. It is yours, yeah. Fuck my life, baby, fuck my life. It is yours, yeah. Don't want nobody to save me. Oh, baby, take me, fix me, then break me, yeah. Don't want nobody to save me. Oh, baby, take me, fix me, then break me, yeah. Toxic love, I'll give all my trust, I'll give all myself, just to make sure you're mine. I said toxic love, I'll give all my trust, I'll give all myself, just to make sure you're mine. Fuck my life, baby, fuck my life. It is yours, yeah. Fuck my life, baby, fuck my life. It is yours, yeah. Yeah, won't you help me? I need help, please. I need some more. Yeah, won't you help me? This not healthy, but I need some more love. Yeah, fuck my life, baby, fuck my life. It is yours, yeah. Fuck my life, baby, fuck my life. It is yours, yeah. Don't want nobody to save me.
bullshit to the birds. Niggas coming in. All that bullshit for the birds. And you ain't said nothing but a word. And shitty niggas is some turds. And hating on the brothers, I'm his worst. I'm his worst. I'm his worst. Yeah, I'm his worst. All that bullshit for the birds. Yeah, you ain't said nothing but a word. Yeah, shitty niggas, you some turds. And all you niggas hating, I'm in first. Flags. Flags. I'm in first. Flags. Your nigga text me on the island right now on an FG. Baby girl, bless me. Just like God, baby, bless me. Nigga, can I text me? Cause I'm getting money with the fucking gang. Diamonds all up on me, BBS again. Yeah, BBS again. When it rains, I'm so happy. Bad foreign little bitch, she call me Pappy. Got some American hoes, they call me Daddy. And if you sleep, wake up, you bitch as fuck. That little bitch, big fuck, we rich as fuck. And if you get in buck, them clips is up. And we get there and it out. And we get there and it out. That bullshit is for the birds, let the birds talk, let the birds talk. Pussy nigga, let the birds walk. You just mad I got the bands over you. Made $1 million for the fans over you. In the back of the cut, sipping cranberry juice. Yeah, I'm so soft up. Yeah, niggas wishing that they call up. But the reason I was brought up, because I said I bought, nigga, life is caught up. Slaughter your daughter, bitch, I go harder. Life is the caught up. On the game, bitch. Nigga, fuck you and who the fuck you came with. It's all that bullshit you talking for the birds. Yeah, baby, at the time. When it rains, I'm so happy. Bad foreign little bitch, she call me Pappy. Got some American hoes, they call me Daddy. And if you sleep, wake up, you bitch as fuck. Bad little bitch, big fuck, we rich as fuck. And if you get in buck, them clips is up. And we get there and it out. And we get there and it out. That bullshit is for the birds, let the birds talk, let the birds talk. Pussy nigga, let the birds walk. Check, check, 1, 2, 1, 2, check, 1, 2. Yeah.
Change, they say, is inevitable and oftentimes unpredictable. So what if you show change who's boss? Mix up your routine. Experience a different kind of refresh. Now's the time to see yourself in a new light. And who knows, changing your look could change your point of view and reveal something in yourself that you didn't know existed. Palm Beach Tan, a better shade of you. Get a free gift card for up to $50. Offers may vary by location. Featuring Australian Gold Lotions.
Count on the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts to recommend the best products for your car. Get maximum cooling system performance for 10 years or 300,000 miles with Heat Long Life Universal Pre-Mixed Antifreeze and Coolant. On sale now for just $5.99 after mail-in rebate. Plus, earn double Overwards points. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today.
Like the twerk team. Yeah, she gon' shake it like a rag doll.
Sing to that bitch like I'm Bruno. Whereabouts of your bitch, I'm like, who knows? Fuck that ass, baby, not too low. Hey, shake that ass, bitch, just like, ooh, oh. Rubber part, baby, shake that ass, shake that pumpkin pot. Twin sisters side by side, shake it side by side. Twin sisters side by side, shake it side by side. Cover bar, rubber part, baby, shake that ass, shake that pumpkin pot. Twin sisters side by side, shake it side by side. Twin sisters side by side, shake it side by side. Twin sisters side by side. Yeah, big folks, you know what the fuck going on. Yeah. Ooh. Said I made y'all, said I might not be mad that I hate y'all. Same reason why I hate y'all. I'm up in this line in a race off. Do the dash in this race car. Got the pistol beat on me since I face off. But it's saying damn race car. Behind reality just like it rape Charles. Hey, I don't know press. No, I don't know press. No, I don't know press. No, I don't know press. I don't know press. I don't know press. Hey, fuck up in my fucking down. Hey, choppers by my side, you know it cloud. Like a bitch ass, big bag, big cash. And I told her big gas, aftermath. I just dressed in all black, got a black mask. I'll pull it out the motherfucking black bag. Ooh, yeah, you drop your ass. Bang, bang, little nigga, you left in the past. Ooh, hey, Sunday niggas, I'm your dad. Big racks in my body, baby, got his cash. Crazy goofy niggas really going outside. Get these pussy niggas down like I'm Johnny Gas. So I wanna press, no, 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 so I wanna press. Hey, are you niggas really from the field? Or are you niggas really from the hills? I got a mob of niggas coming by the mills. They'll shoot your ass down, boy, for 1,400 kills. For real, I'm trying to find your fucking chill. I'm not this activist, I'm trying to pop a seal. I don't do Xannies, baby, no, don't do no pills. I'm just smoking on dope, baby, just thumbing through the meals. So ill. I can't do this anymore. Trying not to be ignored. Put my pedal to the floor. I spread my wings, I let them soar. Let them soar. Let them soar. I can't do this anymore. Yeah, when it rains, it really pours. Yeah, like an eagle on my soar. Yeah, that's an eagle, let it roar. Yeah, let it bang, bang, let it bang, bang, let it bang, shine, let it bang. Yeah, baby, yes, you're mine, baby, yes, you're fine. When I'm on the road, do I touch your mind? When I'm on the road, baby, yes, come right. Yeah, let it bang for me, rain for me. She let that shit sing for me. Yeah, she gon' let that shit bang for me. Yeah, she gon' let that shit bang for me. Yeah, she gon' let that shit bang for me. Yeah, she gon' let that shit She gon' let that shit back to me, yeah. She gon' let that shit back to me, yeah. She gon' let that shit back for me, yeah. She gon' let that shit back for me, yeah. Yeah, let it back for me. Early baby, won't you make me part of me? Early baby, later you could show me things. You know what it is whenever I visit. Rainy city, she bought me kisses. No, 30 degrees, way too cold, so hold me tight. Will I see you at the show tonight? Will I see you at the show tonight?
Hey. Truck to the plane, to the truck to the hotel lobby. Me, I go through underground garages, presidential suite on deposit, elevator up to the room, shower up and then we hit the club. Touchdown, gotta see what's up. Area code in my phone. What numbers do I still have? Who do I know from the past? Hit one, she say she got a man. Hit another one, it goes green. Must have changed phones on the team. Remember when you let me in between? That was 2017. All good, chuck a look around. Find one that seem my type. Tell my dog and he know what I like. He done found me plenty in my life. Problem is I meet a girl tonight. Then I go and treat her too nice. Yellow red credit card swipes. I don't even know if she a wife. But I do know one thing though. Women, they come, they go. Saturday through Sunday, Monday through Sunday, yo. Baby, I'll love you one day. Baby, we'll someday grow. Till then, I'll sit my drunk ass on that runway, on this runway.
30, baby, won't you make me part of me? Early, baby, later, you could show me things. You know what it is whenever I visit. Rainy city, she bought me kisses. No, 30 degrees, way too cold, so hold me tight. Will I see you at the show tonight? Will I see you at the show tonight?
Jury in the safe on arrival. Pistol on J for survival. A lot of people gunning for the title. A lot of people trying to take us viral. I was trying to have a nice night. The waiter brought a check for the meal. She said, babe, I think there was a typo. Nah, girl, I got it. That's like, though, I can show you bigger things than that. It's gonna be a minute till I'm back. Let me get you images that last. Evans had a limit in the past. I had plenty women in the past. I done plenty sinners in the past. You don't need to know, but you can ask. Sticking on your backstage pass, all access, cause you bad. You could go wherever with that ass. Show to the shout, to the truck to the club for the party. You go in first with your girls, cause I don't know who's out there watching. But I do know one thing though, women, they come, they go. Saturday through Sunday, Monday, Sunday, yo. Baby, I'll love you one day. Baby, we'll someday grow. Till then, I'll sit my drunk ass on that runway, on this runway.
30, baby, won't you make me part of me? Early, baby, later, you could show me things. You know what it is whenever I visit. Rainy city, she bought me kisses. No, 30 degrees, way too cold, so hold me tight. Will I see you at the show tonight? Will I see you at the show tonight?